At Danner, the journey is never complete. The Danner N45 Trail Hiker is designed to support those willing to sweat in search of their edge. Featuring per-spare uppers with Areoprene gussets for maximum breathability and Endurafoam midsoles for long-lasting comfort and cushion. The recraftable Vibram Mega Grip outsoles are built to be rebuilt. Danner's Precision Fit technology is available in women's styles. Breathe in the scenery with the Danner N45 Trail Hiker. Wherever you are on your journey, take new steps in the only direction you were meant to go. Forward. Explore the N45 at Danner.com.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah!
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
like I have the power!
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, King County Metro. They announced that as of today, they will start enforcing fare enforcements for riders on buses, streetcars, light rail. Now, for those of you that have been paying to ride, we say, oh, sweet child summer, you could have been riding for free for the last half decade. But again, for those of you who had been saving money by not paying to ride public transportation, that ends today, assuming that you're caught. Now, you can't blame people for wanting to save money. Now, sure, I paid to ride public transportation, but I have definitely cut back in some areas. And a woman in China, she has me beat, however. She's found a place to live for only $7 a month. Now, sure, it's a 6-foot square bathroom stall at her workplace, but she's saving money. Her goal, she says, is to save enough money for a down payment on a home. But her boss is not without a heart. He's trying to convert one of the office cubicles into her next living space. Yeah. But one way or another, she is committed to her goal of saving money. Now, keep in mind, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we want to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we ask you a question at complete random. And after you share your story, we will share with you the story that inspired said question, which is brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration.
To be a part of the big show on the Random Question, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Old Patrol is away we go. Welcome to Season 20, episode number 4,292. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return. If your guess is as good as mine, we go to the automobile well today. All right. On both of the categories, we have for you a new report that analyzed actual data from insurance companies and accident reports to come up with the definitive list of the best and worst drivers by vehicle brand. So by the brand of car.
Okay.
All right. So we're talking about, Ford, Subaru, Teslas, all those cars, Audis, Volkswagens, the good and the bad. We're going to go with the bad today. I don't think anybody goes, boy, that's a great driver in front of me. Unless they're following them at 80 miles an hour in the fast lane.
That is true.
If you know what I mean. But, and it's just based on statistics from getting into accidents, tickets, speeding, DUIs, citations. And they surveyed 1,000 drivers through this past year. And they ranked them up until, I want to say, 20 to 30 different brands of cars.
Damn.
So we'll go through that. Then we have for you the 10 states with the highest auto theft risk, according to new data. So depending on the state you live in, there are certain states where car theft is more common than others. I will just say this. The West Coast is covered pretty thoroughly.
I was going to say, there's no way the West Coast does not do well in
this. For some reason on the East Coast, you do not mess with other people's property. Okay. You will find a gun to your head very quickly. There's no question about that. And I don't know what it is. I don't know that if you mess with someone's garbage can in front of their house, if you mess with anybody,
their parking space, you get shot.
You name it. The last thing you want to do is pull into a parking space where someone has cleared the snow out of it.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk
every
about
year. Every year, it's like 8 people shot. They don't necessarily die, but they get shot.
No, you don't mess with
and it's not even a discussion. That's my parking space. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, you got these guys, you think that porch piracy is a problem? It still exists on the East Coast, but man, you don't want to get caught doing it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I don't care if it's an 80-year-old woman. She'll pull out her big-ass gun and come out on the porch and tell you that she hopes to never see you again. And she's also going to tell her nephew about you, which is probably even worse.
It's always the nephew.
Which is probably
never
worse.
her son, always the nephew.
No, exactly right. I know somebody who can take care of this real quick. So your guess is as good as mine. Coming up at 4:30 right after we do a very special announcement concerning the Men's Room World Tour. This time around, stop number 3, and it's going to be a great party. So we'll give you all those details coming up at 4:30 on the program. And today is the day that we do our random question 206-803-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Ted. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola. Ted, welcome to the program.
How you been? How you doing? How you going to be?
We're doing real good, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was such a long weekend. It felt like 7 days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure did.
Minimum.
All right, Ted, let's do this. As far as your work situation, how did you or someone else get injured at work?
Oh, goodness. So, industrial maintenance.
Who?
Kind of, yeah. So, I've seen a lot. The bacon plant for a corporate large chain I used to work for back in Wichita, we had industrial slicers to slice the bacon strips at the correct thickness.
What is the correct thickness? Is it like an eighth of an inch, quarter inch?
Literally NDA.
Okay.
That's like the one thing.
Is it like what? Is it like a meat slicer that you would see in a restaurant, or is it done by laser? How
laser?
Sure.
So like the deli slicers you see at the like Safeway and stuff.
Yeah.
With the circular blade. Well, this is a less than circular blade. It has like a cutout on the bottom third of it, but it's like it goes from big to small, like a clamshell kind of deal. Right, so it goes deep and then it goes thin and it swings. We're talking 1,700 RPM. Like it's fast, 1,700 to 1,900 RPM. Well, it throws off like scrap and fat, and there's collectors that have to scrape fat, and we have tools that slide under the machines so you don't lose a hand. Right?
Yeah.
So this man, in all of his infinite wisdom, decides that the tool isn't good enough and puts his hand under the guard. Yeah, you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Yeah, and loses it to his first knuckle. Oh, yeah.
And you actually witnessed this?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
And so what happens to the bacon product? Do you just keep it rolling, hose it off?
No, but so everything from 5 minutes before to 5 minutes after, because we stop immediately when there's blood, right?
Well, why would you do it 5 minutes before? I mean, wouldn't that stuff, in theory, be okay? Or is it just the distance it's made itself down the conveyor belt?
How long does it take you to scream after you've been hurt?
Not me, not long.
Okay, well, for me, sometimes I have to understand what has happened before I scream.
So, in other words, what you're saying
I've hit my hand.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
I've hit my hand with a hammer, and it took me a second to realize that my thumb is now bleeding.
Okay.
So, it does take a minute sometimes for
if
the pain
that
to sit
severe,
in.
especially because my fingers are gone.
By the way, Ted, you're still not ruining bacon for me, but I've got a question just based on... can you see the nipples on the outside of the bacon from the pig?
So, kind Kind of. So it's called glands because the nipple is already gone. The skin's gone. So it's the gland that is still there, and we cut them off at the slice line, not necessarily at the injection line. So, like, you'll have a belly with glands come through, and it'll get injected and smoked, but when it gets to the slicer after the freeze, they cut them off, or they notify if it's too big or whatever.
Do they cut them off because they're unsightly, or do they cut them off because it affects the taste or the texture?
Texture and unsightly.
Okay.
So, like,
see, I would put a little nipple ring on.
I don't want my nipple bit.
Yeah, okay. How much free bacon did you get at that gig?
Oh, so much. I left that job a year and a half ago, and I ran out of bacon about 3 months ago.
Wow.
There was no point in time I had less than 30 pounds in my freezer.
Well, that's a great perk, man. You got to be sad that all that bacon's gone. I mean, when you made up the last batch, you go, well, this is it.
Yep.
Okay.
And like all the supervisors that were sad to see me go handed me pound, 2 pound, 3 pound packs, depending on what they were running on their lines.
That's what we do here at work. If you were let go from a radio station, we give you just a boatload of microphones.
Yep.
So we're really going to miss you.
Yep.
Hey, is there a such thing as laser cut bacon?
So we use lasers, and it's not laser cut. We use lasers as a measuring device more than the actual cutting, because it'll pre-cook the meat a little bit because of the temperature of the laser.
Sure.
Interesting.
So it's all stainless blade. It's I mean, and we sharpen them at least daily, if not more.
How many pounds of bacon does it, like, an individual place produce a year, do you think? Like the place you worked, at the end of the year, like, how many tons of bacon have run through there?
Okay, so we, as the largest bacon manufacturing facility in this corporation, in 46 locations or whatever, we were the largest bacon manufacturer. We were doing 300,000 pounds a week.
Jesus.
Damn. And who's the main buyer on that? Is it like Hormel or just any?
So without saying yes, it was actually that company, but like,
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
we had like Wendy's, we had Dillon's, we had Kroger, everything. Like, we had our specific recipes for each individual buyer.
So a place like
Costco
Wendy's
messed it up.
So a place like Wendy's actually orders their own bacon. They don't buy it from one of the companies that we would know.
No, they have a specific recipe that is extra detailed for their specific needs.
Interesting.
Costco at some point had their specific recipe for their pre-cooked bacon that is long gone now, 5 years past. Kroger, Dillon's, Fred Meyer, they have their specific variation of it. Sam's Club has theirs. And then there's just the regular Black Label cherry smoke.
Sure.
Hickory, so.
All right, in your opinion, and it's all a matter of taste, it's very subjective, but of all the different recipes that you saw come in that you guys produce for, who would be your number one pick? Like, I'm buying their bacon.
As far as how they
else.
prepare it.
Yeah.
So this is super East Coast, but like when we installed the ready-to-eat plant with the pre-cooked bacon and stuff, BJ's, not the restaurant out here, BJ's, like the Sam's Club out east.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, every chance I got, I'm on that. They're sending me 3-4 pound like sample platters. It was just the best. So it was a thick cut, basically Sam's Club cut, but it was more, I don't know. It was, but if I'm going to go to the line and grab a handful of bacon to take home, it's going to be the pecan wood every time.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
I follow your advice and give it a try.
I could talk to you all night about bacon.
I didn't realize how interesting the bacon world was.
Wait a minute, bacon. All right. Well, the reason we asked, how did you get injured at work? This just happened over the weekend on Friday afternoon. 2 Pierce County construction workers hospitalized after a car crash into a signal board that they were setting up along Canyon Road East, according to the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. Happened about 1:45 in the afternoon at 144th Street. A 27-year-old guy driving a silver Kia reportedly told investigators,
"I want to see ya in a Kia,"
that another vehicle swerved into his lane. He said he overcorrected and struck the portable signboard, causing it to hit the workers nearby. Now, the impact through the workers, a 51-year-old man and a 31-year-old woman between 10 and 20 feet.
Jesus.
Both were taken to a hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Drivers are asked to avoid the area. They were in the process of just setting up one of those traffic equipment signs, the electronic boards.
What do you think it was going to say? Like, slow down, be careful. Like one of those.
Don't hit us.
I mean, typically they're put up to give you a warning of some kind.
Don't hit us for setting up.
Right.
I like that. Slow down.
Right. Boom.
But you ask anybody who's done any work in road construction, flaggers, whatever the deal is, they've got stories.
Always, man.
They've got stories of people plowing through there, almost getting hit on numerous occasions. It's
the first time I got mentioned on the radio, and this is true, I was going to school for broadcasting. I'd never been on the radio before, but on the way there, got a flat tire. I got to change the thing. I'm on I-83. This is in Baltimore, and I didn't realize how small the shoulder is and how close you are to the actual roadway when you're changing the tire. And I just remember a semi went by me, and I could feel my clothes just ripping in the wind. So I didn't actually see it, but I realized how close it was. I almost crapped myself. But the radio's on in the car, and all I hear is, and we have a traffic backup on I-83. I'm like, that's me.
Nice.
I just made it to the radio. I'm a backup.
There's a reason cops come up to your driver's side window. I mean, they don't want to get hit either. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, combining raw power with precision engineering, all backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. Climb inside a Tundra and experience the uncompromising strength. With its available iForce Max engine, the Tundra delivers exceptional power, torque, and towing capacity. Plus, the spacious and high-tech cabin keeps you connected on the run. Or check out a Tacoma. Agile, dependable, and unstoppable. The Tacoma's designed for those who go beyond the trails. Stay ahead of the pack with available off-road features like crawl control. Or break out your tunes with the available portable JBL speaker. Toyota trucks are built to last, year after year, mile after mile. So outlast every adventure and outlive the moment. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Or stop by your local Toyota dealer to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
When water from the pipes was pouring down, filed a claim with Hiscox.
We turned it around.
Across America, over 600,000 small businesses look to Hiscox Insurance for protection. Find flexible coverage that adapts to the needs of your small business with a fast, easy online quote at Hiscox.com.
'Cause there's no business like small business.
Like no business we know.
Get a quote today with Hiscox Small Business Insurance.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Pinky's Plumbing Studio, you're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Ken. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hola.
Ken, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, Ken. Let's go with this one. In your lifetime, what would you say, Ken, is the most potentially dangerous thing that you've ever done that could have caused harm? But it didn't, but it could have.
I work up on buildings a lot, and sometimes I get a little bit too close.
Close to the edge?
Close to what?
Yes, close to the edge.
And how high are we talking with open air? Like how many stories?
Usually about 10 stories is about as far as I've been.
What is the most dangerous thing? Like a gust of wind coming up?
Slippery.
All right.
A lot of them places don't have any kind of an edge, and if you get too close to them and get to sliding, there's nothing to stop you.
What kind of safety harnesses do you have up there?
Well, we're not supposed to have anything unless we're 3 feet from the edge.
What?
Usually just a harness with a limit on how far you can fall.
All right. That does not sound fun. I don't think I can handle that job.
What's the tallest building you'd be willing to get on top of? You said 10 is about your average. So if they said, hey, man, we got a 45-story building, are you saying hell no? Or
maybe about 20 stories, but anything after about 50 feet, I'm done.
Well, let me ask you this, man. What would the difference be if you fell off a 20-story building, say about 220 feet or so, versus a 40-story building? 400? I mean, to me, it seems like at that point, the end is going to be about the same.
The time I have looking forward to hitting the bottom.
Right.
Okay.
Has anyone ever slipped and fell while you were working?
No.
Well, thank God for that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's not a job I could do, man. When we, again, went to the CN Tower in Toronto, I had enough trouble just taking one quick photograph over the glass floor looking straight down. But one of the things they offer was you can go even higher in the CN Tower. And they said, look, you can do that, but don't bother to do it this day because it's foggy. Most people go up for the view. Don't waste your money. We said, cool. Unless you're interested in, and I was not, they do, it's not a bungee jump. Mm-hmm. But it is basically rappel down to a certain level, and they suck your ass back up, and they show, videos of people doing this, and just looking at the videos, I'm like, there is no way in hell, and this is a tourist thing. Right? This is not like stunt guys and all that. They have like one instructor. I believe they take up to 8 to 12 people at a time, and I'm like, tourists come here, go even higher than we are. That was plenty high for me. Go to the top, and then rappel off of the thing, to dangle over the city, take a picture, and then go back.
I think jumping off bridges and cliffs when I was younger, potentially dangerous.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so scared of heights, because you said you jumped up to 60
I have no
feet
problem
off of
jumping
bridge.
into a body of water.
I mean, that's better, but still, you're still high up. And obviously, I'd pick water over the ground.
I just like flying through the air. I just don't want to be able to hit the ground. So
I think it depends on how many people know this hole.
Yes, it's got to be safe. I would never jump into something that was...
You're not going to be the first guy?
No.
It's just sometimes, too, you got to keep in mind, like, rivers change.
Right.
So, like, I've been to a spot where, like, the year before, you could, like, there was, like, a rope swing, people were jumping off trees into it, and then the next year, if you didn't pay attention, like, it was only, like, 3 feet deep. You would have gotten really hurt.
Oh, yeah. Caving, I used to cave a lot, and we used to use miners.
Again, I'm not particularly claustrophobic, but anytime I see a show where they're going, like, deep into the mines, and I don't mean where there's a tunnel, but like you're saying, where they're not wiggling through, like, to me, I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm claustrophobic, but in reality, how would I respond to that?
Well, I back in the day, you wore a battery pack on your waist.
Yeah.
And the cord came up through your coveralls, and the helmet would last about 2.5 hours. So your light, if it was battery packed, a lot of guys have, believe it or not, kerosene helmets.
Jesus.
Where there's a flame that shoots out, and like a little makeup mirror on top that would reflect even more light than the battery powered ones. But I was 50 feet, 100 feet away from exiting the cave when my battery died. And if it wasn't for the fact that I couldn't see the glow, I would have been screwed. I had a basic idea how to get out, follow the stream.
What's the deepest you think you've been?
As far as in a cave?
Yeah. Because I know they say follow the stream, but what do you do? Okay,
probably
your
an
leg
hour.
goes
Probably
out.
an hour in. You try to go an hour in, if not more.
But they say, all right, follow the stream. And I've heard that. Great advice. Makes complete sense. What if I don't hear a stream?
Well, the problem is that sometimes to get to the stream, you'll be at a point where you need to go down a chimney. So a chimney is a chimney.
Right.
And, my buddy Brett took the lead. At this point in time, we're going down this chimney, which was fairly long. It was probably 15 feet. And when he got to the opening, what we realized was the room below us where that stream was coming through, the ceiling on it was about 25 feet high.
Oh.
So that's where the opening was in the top of the... So, back up.
Yeah.
Now you've got to slowly claw your ass up through basically what feels like clay, hard clay, and try to worm your way back up to the top and hope to God that you don't slip and hit him, because then you're both just going to go and spill out.
Well, I got to think the guy at the bottom has it the worst.
Well,
because if any of you screw up, he's going down. Yeah.
The reason we asked, what's the most potentially dangerous thing you've done? They say when the day is dawning on a Texas Sunday morning.
Did you say Rainier?
That was pretty dangerous, yeah.
Yeah, I would throw that in there for sure.
I mean, that a blizzard hit.
Yeah, the crevasses were pretty... Yeah, that was stupid.
See, crevasses, I don't like that.
Well, just jumping over.
You can't see them necessarily. There's the quote-unquote snow
You can
bridge.
see some of them, but when they get covered...
But again, I can see some of them. Yeah. Some is not all.
This guy thought it'd be a good idea, dressed in a T-shirt and shorts, to take his electric scooter out on the highway. And believe it or not, I've looked into this. They do have scooters that will go 65 miles an hour, like the kind that you rent downtown.
But the picture I saw of this guy, he's wearing shorts and no helmet, and right.
Correct. The video shows a tall man riding what looks to be an electronic scooter, nonchalantly speeding through Amarillo, Texas. The fact he's wearing zero protective gear, unless you count the closed-toe shoes, is not law-breaking in Texas. However, his speedy commute on the interstate, they say, is a major no-no. According to Texas code, motor-assisted scooters may be operated only on a street or highway for which the posted speed limit is 35 miles an hour or less.
Okay.
I-40, it's not. It's 65. But on the westbound section of the freeway, the posted speed limit is 60 with a minimum of 45. Yet the man is easily keeping up with cars and trucks and weaving in and out of traffic. He was holding steady at 65 miles an hour and smack dab in the middle lane. He's not trying to be discreet. And if you're wondering about helmet requirements, Texas does have laws about protective headgear, but actually not really. Some cities have laws requiring helmets for bicycle and scooter riders. For example, there's no statewide directive. Any local legislation is for those under the age of 18. And specific to motorcycles, the transportation code states that helmets are required, but riders receive an exemption if they pass a motorcycle safety course or have health insurance that can cover any injuries sustained in a crash.
Wait a minute. So I've passed the motorcycle safety course, which
I took.
But I don't have to wear a helmet.
But that was a requirement to get your license certification here in Washington.
So the point is, you don't have to get a license to ride your motorcycle in Texas, but if you do get your license, or not your license, but pass the motorcycle safety course, then I don't have to wear a helmet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And one more on the potentially dangerous thing you've done, and this one did not end well. 47-year-old man died while base jumping over the weekend. He fell 650 feet to his death after his parachute did not fully open. The incident happened at 8:40 in the morning in Chelan County on U.S. Route 97. Basically, if you know the shortcut that will take you from Chelan down to the Columbia River, you know that to be a sheer cliff on that side. All right, that's where this guy was. He jumped, his parachute didn't open, and it caused the man from India to spin 180 degrees midair. He struck a rock wall, deputies said. Then he plunged 650 feet to the ground. Witnesses saw the incident. They called authorities. There was nothing they could do when they got to the scene. It was pretty well...
So he hit a rock wall, then fell to 650 feet.
That is correct, after his parachute spun out.
Random.
Hello, Julie. Welcome to the men's room.
Aloha, bitch.
Hola. Julie, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's go with this one. Julie, you can answer this. What was one of your favorite places to go growing up as a kid that you look forward to? Maybe your parents took you camping once a year. What was it?
Amusement park.
Casa Bonita when you were little.
Oh, dude. Casa Bonita, yeah.
When I grew up in Morgantown, there was a place called Kennywood Park up in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Love going there in the summertime. What was your favorite go-to place growing up?
Probably camping at the North Fork on the Santiam River. And then besides that, it would be like the beach, like Lincoln City. That was it.
What made camping so exciting for you? Like, what was it about that experience, and how long did you guys camp on average?
Oh, my gosh. Since I can remember, we did a lot of tent camping, and then Dad upgraded to a pickup and camper, and they got a trailer, like, after I was married and moved out, and only had it, like, maybe they used it 3 times and got rid of it. So, I mean, it was like they didn't have a lot of money when we were growing up, so...
Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
But what about now? Do you still enjoy camping? Is there something that post-marriage? Do you have kids?
Well, we have a son. He's 26, getting married in September, and we don't camp anymore because my husband likes flush toilets.
Well, I mean, everybody likes flush toilets.
I like your husband.
But part of the point of camping is like, look, man, the major thing you're not going to have is a toilet to flush is. But to me, the main thing, can I wipe my ass? If I can do that.
Like those 5-gallon buckets that you'd get like a plant.
Oh, yeah.
He would cut a hole in it, and we'd have a toilet up at the river. We would, dig a hole
all you need is a pool noodle and some garbage bags.
Hell, we have a guy that calls the show that did it in his living room on his plenty down, man. That's not even a joke. I swear to God. Can't even make that up. So
I know who that is. I can't think of his name.
Eastwood. Yeah.
Eastwood, that's it.
And he makes no apologies about it. He's like, yeah, man, I'm just sitting on the bucket pooping with the pool noodle. So you gave up camping because your husband needs a flush toilet.
I would love to go camping. I think it'd be really fun to get one of those little mini mobile homes and just like, we're going to the Carolinas like early in May, I guess. And that'd be so fun to like get one of those little, like you can drive your camper and.
Sure. You can rent them. You can rent them in Canada. You can rent them in a lot of places.
Would it be okay if you got like a mobile home with a flush toilet located inside of the mobile home and drive to the Carolinas?
No, because this would be like a one-time thing. He wants to like go on a train. He's into trains, and
if you have the time.
We haven't even done our like Hood River trip yet. I don't know.
Trains do have flushable toilets.
Yes, they do.
But apparently it's his major requirement. Yeah.
What I know it sounds stupid. There wasn't a lot to do in my hometown growing up. But one of the things that we look forward to as kids when we didn't have sporting events on the weekend or whatever, if we had an open day, there was a bus that would go to the Morgantown Mall, and it was 50 cents. And we would save up all our money, and that was the day when we got there, probably close to when the mall would open.
Were there old people walking around back then, or is that?
No, that was not a thing back then. We get there around 10:30 or something like that. There was always a midday movie. There was always a movie that you wanted to see. It was a matinee movie, so it was cheaper than the later night movies. So we'd go to a movie, and then we would go get lunch at the food court, and they had like the equivalent of a Sparrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had 5 or 6 things. A place you get ice cream.
Correct.
There was a Wendy's and just whatever it was. We just wanted to go there and get like 2 or 3 different things to eat. Whether it could be like a personal pizza and a taco, or
what is it about the mall
Chinese
that appeals to you
and a slice
so
of pizza?
At that age, like to me, like you said, it might be movies, the arcade, food court for sure, and then like Spencer's Gifts. We cannot leave without going to Spencer's.
Arcade.
I mean, I think generally. When you got to the mall, like your parents weren't with you.
Correct.
So that's fun. And then I'm with Miles. Like, I remember me and my cousins, and we go to some bad malls. But, like, the food court was always fun. Because, you just, generally you're used to you ate whatever your parents gave you, or you ate what you got at school.
Right.
But now
the idea of, like,
pizza and orange chicken.
I can get French fries over there. I get a piece of pizza over there. I get an egg roll over there.
We would go to Columbia Mall specifically because it had a Chick-fil-A.
Ooh,
and there was because people forget Chick-fil-A mostly started out in malls. So before there was freestanding ones,
So any kind of birthday money you got, any kind of money you got from doing any chores or whatever, we would take our money up there and do that. Blow it all in the arcade after we went to see the movie. We'd already eaten popcorn, lunch, go shopping, go to the toy store, see what the hell was in there.
KB or hobby.
Yeah, I mean whatever the hell it was, and then we would get on the bus and go home. And man, I love those days. They were just
we would go. There was a place out, like, it was kind of farther away, but it was, like, miniature golf, batting cages.
Go-karts?
And, like, I don't think they had go-karts, but they had, like, an arcade. But, I mean, same thing. Like, if it was, especially in the fall, because you weren't playing baseball, like, we'd go up there every Friday and just, I don't know. I feel like for $20, you would be there for hours.
I mean, my kids, like most kids, if you're going to take them to an arcade place, they're very happy about that. And I think, like, my wife and I will go to the bar, sit down, eat some crappy food, drink a couple beers, but if they have a go-kart track, I'm 100% in, man. If you suggest a place that has a go-kart track, like, that's where you will find
Also, we would do the thing where we would go to the movie, go to the bathroom for at least 5 minutes, wait for the place to clear out, and then pick the next movie we're going to go see and catch a double feature.
Oh, yeah.
So to speak. So sometimes we're in the movies for, 4 hours or whatever. But I mean, 2 movies. And, then these were movies that everyone was looking forward to seeing. Yeah, like, I don't know if there's a buzz on that as much anymore. Sure, with the Marvel movies and other things. But
well, you can watch it at home now.
There'd be like 4 movies in any weekend that you wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you had to pick between the 4 movies because they were all, you were going to see them eventually.
Yes, you were.
But they were all worth watching. The reason we asked your favorite place to go growing up. They said if you've had a son in middle school, now how would you feel about them asking to have a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese or Hooters? And if you haven't been in a Hooters in years, you're not alone. They've been struggling to stay afloat. According to reports, they're about $300 million in debt. Last year, they closed 40 locations. Now they're trying a new model. They're making a pivot to be more family-friendly. They are calling it a re-Hooterization.
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 Rolls off the tongue.
Like a boob lift. But it's more like they're taking away all the Hooters aspects that you know. Now, they say you might not realize this, but Hooters and their offshoot, Hoots Wings, which I've never heard of, until I read this article, have become increasingly family-friendly over the past decade and have long had a pretty big kids menu.
Yeah.
But now they're going all in. Ownership says it's depressing to them that women would not want their families going to Hooters, even dads if they're going alone or with friends. They didn't say what exactly they'll be changing to make it more PG or how it'll be. Maybe not as many skimpy outfits or bikini nights will be phased out. They're also looking to refresh their menu with fresher ingredients.
Oh,
to attract more females, like salads and things like that.
I mean, no offense to Hooters, but I feel like it was already a pretty kid-friendly menu.
It was. It was a very kid-friendly menu.
Wings, tenders, and burgers.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly what you put on the kids' menu. Most dads, like, they're with their son, they're like, yeah, we're going to Hooters. It's not like a strip club, for God's sake.
And there's still about 250 Hooters locations in the United States. Ted and I read an interesting article. We both read it last week about just, growing up, the macho testosterone aspect side of dads, uncles, grandfathers, you know what I mean? Like maybe they had a child or a grandson who they felt had some, I don't know, feminine characteristics or didn't want to play ball in the backyard. Whatever the deal was. Well, we're going to take him to Hooters and show them what it's all about. And it became a refuge for kids who were not sure of their sexuality at the time.
Sure.
But because they would get together to take pictures and stuff, and the women who worked there could kind of see the uncomfortable feeling.
Like the guy was saying, like his dad or his grandfather took him to kind of be like, oh, you need to man up.
Yeah, you need to look at boobs.
But basically, the waitress was like, I get it, you're gay.
Yeah, like it's okay, you're safe. Like this is, and they have a great time, but just not have to worry about that whole thing.
It's funny. It's like, because with my kids, I'm like, I don't care. Just be happy, right? Yeah. So my kid, I think he was 6 or 7, but we were in Mexico on a Christmas day. Guy gave us some baseball tickets. Like, cool, man. Why not? Let's go. And it was a fun game. They ended up on the Jumbotron.
Was this minor league? I guess, obviously. Or is this like Mexican professional?
This is Mexican professional. It's the, what's their name? It's the Mazatlan team. Starts with the V. It means deer. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
Mazatlan cartel.
We roll up there, and they have cheerleaders at their baseball games. But the way they do it, they're on the field during the game, but as you're entering the stadium, they're basically at the top of the concourse. So when you're walking up there they are. They're same stuff you always see, pom-poms singing, doing all this thing. So I'm trying to find where our seats are, and I'm holding my son's hand, and I realize we have to go to the right. And I turn to the right, and suddenly it's like I'm holding an anchor. Like my feet stop, and I look at him, and he is just staring at this one chick's boobs. And, I tug him again. Still, he's not breaking eye contact. Finally, I'd, grab his chin gently. I'm like, hey, man. I get it. You're not wrong. She's as beautiful as you think she is, but don't be creepy. Come on, dude. Come on. Oh, yeah.
More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies, yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes. When they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
At Cardinal Heating and Air, we elevate your comfort with expert HVAC solutions in the greater Seattle area. Our decades of experience have fostered lasting relationships built on quality service. Whether you need AC repair, heating repair, routine maintenance, a new installation, or an emergency fix, you can trust Cardinal Heating and Air, now offering electrical services. Experience the exceptional service and peace of mind that Cardinal Heating and Air delivers today and for years to come.
Catchy tune, right? But don't let the urge to sing along distract you from the truck drifting towards your lane or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you. And Hyundai has over 120 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't... Hyundai vehicles have won over 120 IIHS Top Safety Awards from 2006 to 2024.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
At Danner, we believe our beloved trails will always need footsteps to keep the paths from fading. And those journeys are often better when shared. The Women's Trail Trainer was built by women for women who embrace the outdoors. Rally your girls, lace up, and blaze the trail. Resurge midsoles provide next-level comfort, while Danner's Precision Fit technology offers more custom fit with optimal support. Breathe in the scenery and feel right at home in the dirt. Explore the Women's Trail Trainer at danner.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Hey, what's the easiest way to find out what channel the game's on? Sports on What? Subscribe to the Sports on What app and quickly find the channel for every provider. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Download today.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Random question, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Cheyenne. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Random.
Hi, gentlemen. Hola. Cheyenne, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's see here. What do we have for you, Cheyenne? Okay. Okay, what did you get away with not paying for, Cheyenne? What did you get away with not paying for? Just mention the fact that sometimes you sneak into a movie after you saw the one you paid for.
Yeah, there's that.
What have you gotten away with not paying for?
I mean, honestly, back in the day when I used to work in radio, I got quite a few concert tickets.
All right, yeah, that's fair. That's a perk of the job. It's a good one, for sure. T-shirts and the occasional concert ticket.
I have lots of T-shirts.
And typically, though, the only problem with that, Cheyenne, is that you do give the tickets away to winners.
And those are the tickets that go first. Now, what can potentially happen is that if they don't pick up their ticket by a certain time or whatever the deal is, there will be tickets left over. They tell you last minute there are tickets available.
Right, but the big
if you want to go tonight, you want to go to the Paramount tonight. So you just got to kind of be ready.
That did happen quite a bit, yeah.
You got to be,
especially back in the day with physical tickets, because you could just go to the book at the end on Friday evening.
And they just hand them to you.
And check it.
Yep.
What are some of the shows or sporting events you got to go to when you're working in radio?
Let's see. There was Tool.
Nice.
There was a Chili Pepper show. Lincoln Park, Korn, when they were doing their Project Revolution thing one year or a couple of years actually in a row.
So none of these are cheap tickets at all, man. That's pretty decent.
No. Yeah.
That was the best thing. I mean, I'm a Ravens fan, unapologetic, but when I worked at the Ravens station, you got to go to pretty much every game free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? They gave you the pass. You had to do stuff, but
right.
like you're there. And for me, look, man, my responsibilities, quote unquote, would be done in about 15 minutes because several times one of the bosses would come down and like you didn't have a seat. But because you had that tag, you could just walk down the stairs, and as long as you got out of people's way, security never bothered you. You know, they knew you're a fan. They know you're, quote-unquote, working. Or maybe I should say you're there with work. And you watch the game. They bug you for something. Takes you 5 minutes. Go back out, watch the game. I'm like, this is fantastic.
Pretty typical for bars to close at 2 o'clock on the nose in West Virginia.
Yeah.
So when I was working the night show at a rock station, I'd get off the air at midnight. And, Buffalo Wild Wings was still open. So you could go there.
They stayed open that late?
Oh, God. They stayed up until 2.
Okay.
They had trivia. I mean, the place was jumping. I mean, it didn't matter if it was a Monday night. It was open 7 days a week. But my buddy had a sub shop, and they closed down at 1:30. They delivered to 1:30. But he was the manager. So he would meet up with us for like a half-hour power drinking. Then we go back to the sub shop that he just closed down.
Yeah.
And turn on the grill and make a sub for there to eat. And then we make like a sub or two to take home with us. So we'd have like lunch the next day or dinner, whatever. Just take them back to the roommates, and they'd scarf them down. You'd wake up and your sub would be gone, essentially.
Oh, sure.
But that was. I mean, to make your own sub and to have all the ingredients there and just
I didn't even think about that. But that's in the years that I worked in restaurants. Right, you could eat for free while you're there, whether they quote unquote allowed it or not. But at the end of the night, like you said, it's kind of you're going to make something that's not quite on the menu. Right, because you know what's there. Yeah. You'd hook yourself up, man, go home. So even though you weren't making a lot of money, you certainly were never hungry.
Right.
All the time. And you got what they called the shift beer, which most places do. But if you're friends with the bartender, like a shift beer is a continuous flow of beer until you can't drink anymore. Yep. And then you'll hang out until 5 in the morning getting hammered. And you realize, like, man, I probably put down 7 beers, 8 shots, and did not pay for any of this, and I'm going home with food.
Mm-hmm.
Shift beer to me always just depended on how long that bar stayed open. It's like the first bar I worked at, I don't know if you were allowed to, but we were bartenders, so we would make drinks. But the thing was, once you closed the bar, you only had about 45 minutes before you had the alarm got set automatically.
Oh, really?
So we had to be pretty quick. But then another place where I worked the door, you got 2 shift beers, right?
Okay.
So basically, you got to load all the fridges and this and that. But same thing. That place didn't have an alarm. You had to set it. So
yeah.
I only worked that place like Friday and Saturday nights. And the guy that ran it on Saturday nights, once you were done, he just didn't really care. He would sit at the bar. Yeah, you could smoke cigarettes, and he would he would just rip cigarettes, and you could drink basically until he was done drinking.
The only thing we couldn't do with bartenders, but I liked it because, quote unquote, after the restaurant closed or the bar closed, right, and you kind of help them clean up. But the entire wait staff, the entire cooking staff, and the bartender were all there drinking. But if you wanted another drink, he's like, "Look, here's my condition. Get it yourself."
Yep,
no problem.
Yep. The only thing was you couldn't turn on the fryers because they were already turned off.
Yeah,
but another buddy, he worked at a pizza place. They left those ovens on all night. The problem is that he could give us a ticket or the key that he had to get in. We couldn't get the dough right. Like, he knew how to make a pizza. He knew how to toss a pizza.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, he would let you go in there. He'd like, but just make a pizza real quick, man. I'll meet you at the bar. Because that pizza place closed down at midnight. So he would go there and attempt to make a pizza. Typically, it ended up being like a stromboli or a calzone.
He found his folded over.
Yeah, just like the hell with it, man. And just put it in the oven this way. But that was a great freebie.
See, that's funny. Like, that bar I worked at in Baltimore, we were the opposite. Like, if people came in and were like, can we have something? Like, all right, we'll turn on the fryers. But, like, do not touch the grills or the oven.
Okay. That was more my thing. Right.
Yeah.
Reese, we asked, what did you get away with not paying for? Metro King County today started their fare enforcement police, and they've got a bunch of fare enforcement officers, once again, asking riders for proof of fare payment on the buses. And basically, there's a number of ways, obviously, you can pay for a ride. Orca cards, it's $275. You can tap your Orca card, Transit Go ticket, a Google Wallet, transfer slip, whatever you got. You just got to provide that. They're not going to kick you off right away, but they do say that if they catch you again, then you will not be allowed on any of the Metro Transit anymore. So after 2 warnings, violations may result in fines or alternative resolutions.
Or like a $20 fine or something, like 2 hours community service or something.
Community service. You could be put on a reduced fare program. Youth without proof of payment will receive information on enrolling in the free Youth Transit Pass. So if you're a kid, you can apparently get that too. By the way, over 300,000 people ride each weekday. Each weekday.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a ton of people.
I've seen a couple of times, I'll be on the light rail. I went down to the airport, I don't know, earlier this year, whatever. And there's a woman dead asleep behind me. She's got everything she owns on her. And then fare enforcement walks on. And they're checking everybody's ticket. And I was like 3 people toward the front. They hadn't paid, and they got, I can't even call it a stern warning. It was more like a suggestion that maybe the next time you get out, you might want to pay. And, of course, they're all like, yeah, sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, next time.
They came to me, and I paid, no big deal. I had an Orca card. A woman behind me, they're trying to wake her up. And I'm looking at this lady who's trying to wake this other lady up. Like, why are you bothering? I don't know her, but I can answer for her. No. She did not pay to get on. That's 1. 2, no. You're not going to kick her off. Just let the woman sleep it off. Yep. Right? She's in the back. She ain't bothering anybody. You know goddamn well she did not pay to get on here.
It's kind of a tough part, too, is they're not always going to be sitting there right at the door. So, anybody can basically just do it.
You just get it. Well, that's the thing. When the train's moving, you'll see them pop onto your car. And they pull out their little scanners or whatever they do, and it's like, okay, that's right. But everyone would get nervous, and up until today, I guess. I'm like, they're not going to do anything. Don't worry. Look, if a cop pulls you over for going 120 miles an hour, but you knew for a fact the cop's not going to give you a ticket, you drive 120 miles an hour the rest of the way home. Don't worry about it. But as of today, worry about it. Hello, Matt. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Matt, welcome to the program. Random question. Matt, let's go with this one. What would you say is one of the more unique foods that you have tried in your lifetime? A unique food item.
Oh, man. So I'm a chef. We did a wild game tasting dinner once. I was still a cook at that time, and the chef I was working for got all these ingredients, and we're trying stuff left and right all day long. And he comes over to me. He goes, Matt, you got to try this. And he puts this really nice-looking piece of red meat on my cutting board. And I was like, oh, cool, beef. I'm just going to eat it, like tartare, whatever. And I'm chewing on it. And it's like, Chef, this is like really metallic and like a little weird. What kind of beef is this? And he goes, dude, did you just eat that? Spit that out right now. I was like, okay, I spit it out. What was it? Dude, that's raw beaver. That's the beaver I want to be eating.
Raw beaver.
Why did he give it to you raw?
Well, that's what I said. I was like, well, why'd you just give that to me? He's like, I thought you were going to cook it, you idiot. I was like, yeah.
Now, I'm right there. If the chef hands you something and says, try this, you assume that what they mean is as is. Like, tell me what you think. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What is that? What's some of the crazier things you've actually cooked and prepared yourself as a chef?
Python. That one cooked way weirder than I thought. Typically you braise something, it gets softer.
Yeah.
We braised this python, and it just kept getting harder and harder and just like inedible.
So, I mean, could you like slice it thin and try to call it something else? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we just rolled with it. They were paying crazy amounts of money. They don't know what they're eating.
I've never heard of anyone even eating python. I didn't know that was something you could eat.
Man, I know they eat snake of all kinds, so.
Yep.
I've heard rattlesnake and a few others, just not python. Based on his description of it, not something I want to try.
Yeah. I ate a bunch of stuff in Africa that obviously I'll never eat again, but it was just...
Did you ask a lot of questions, or did you just say, like, what do you recommend?
Both. I knew for a fact, like, if I saw kudu on the menu, I was going to try that.
And that's the little deer thing or something?
Deer thing. And I saw plenty of those. And I saw...
You said your daughter suggested the gazelle burger?
Gazelle burger was pretty good. Wildebeest.
All right.
And then you see them, and you realize how dangerous, the water buffalo and all these other things are... they are dangerous as hell, and you realize that is the steak you had. I had ostrich. I had.
You said ostrich was outstanding, right?
Ostrich you see on other menus.
Sure, on occasion, but yeah.
And there was also you could get ostrich eggs for breakfast. Mm-hmm. But one egg is the equivalent to 20 to 30 eggs.
Right.
So they basically have a scrambled mix. Like if you buy a pre-scrambled carton
and then pour you out a decent portion.
They will just give you a small portion, scramble that up. Those will be your eggs.
Was there anything you looked at and said, absolutely not?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I mean, look, I'm willing to try anything, but...
What were your top 2 or 3 things that you had not had before you got to Africa, ate it, and said, man, this is good?
Ostrich steak I've tasted before, but it was completely different there.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely one of the most phenomenal dinners I've ever had in my life.
Is it the meat, the spices, or both?
Both.
Okay.
Both. They prepare it well, but the meat is unbelievable. It's like a steak, and it's coming from a bird, but it is red meat. It is a steak. It is tender. It is delicious. It's got checks all the boxes if you're a meat eater. Except for being better for you. And the fact that it didn't have a lot of fat in it, but still tasted tender and not fatty was great. Our reason we asked, what's the most unique food that you've tried? They said that there is an iguana problem on Marco Island down in Florida. And if you see one, there's one person to call. His name is John Johnson. He is the owner and founder of Down Goes Iguana. He has been removing invasive pests for years, responding to calls and killing the lizards on site. However, when you remove hundreds of pests in a year, you have a lot of lizards to deal with. He says that's where this idea was born. The green iguana, native to Central and South America, that has become an invasive species in South Florida. And they are notorious for burrowing into seawalls. They damage landscaping, even compromise pool structures, all of which can cost tens of thousands of dollars. I have the tools to help. After I'm done, I might as well do something different. They said where others see a nuisance, Johnson sees a breakfast opportunity.
A breakfast opportunity.
Armed with a sharp knife and sense of adventure, he harvests iguana eggs with the enthusiasm of a man who discovered a hidden treasure. It doesn't get more Florida than this, he says. Johnson's iguana egg recipe isn't much different than your typical breakfast. He takes the yolks with a touch of milk, whisks them with salt and pepper and Latin-inspired spices and garlic. He scrambles them up, dices them with ham, peppers, onions, makes omelets and everything else. He's like their eggs, so I treat them like eggs. And now I sell iguana eggs as a side hustle because they are delicious. They taste like eggs, he says, because they're eggs.
They're eggs.
He said, if I did not tell you what this was, you'd have no clue. And one more on the unusual things that you poured down your throat. We all know Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, of course.
Sure. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Jessica
This is why I don't sing.
Well, she was talking about maintaining her vocal cords.
Does she have a good voice?
I'm not sure.
Jessica Simpson can sing.
Okay, I'm just, I think about, I know who she is, but then it occurred to me when I saw the story, I couldn't name a song.
You just got to remember, when she was kind of popular, so was Britney Spears.
Right.
So was Christina Aguilera. She was up for awards, but just if you look at who she was up against, these are the who's who.
Well, Britney couldn't really sing.
Music.
She's like J-Lo. She was a little more auto-tuned. Christina Aguilera could sing her ass off.
Well, Jessica Simpson's back to singing again, and on Friday, she revealed the secret behind her powerful voice that has earned her a success throughout the years. They're like, what are you drinking? And I said, it's this Chinese herbal thing, she said, in a video posted on Instagram. I'm like, I don't know. My vocal coach told me to drink it. So they Googled the ingredients, and it contains snake sperm. It's like a honey. If you want good vocals, you got to drink the snake sperm, she said while laughing. She has been busy on her latest musical project, Nashville Canyon Part 1, which is a rockabilly and country fusion, she says. But she says the Chinese herbal drink actually just tastes like honey. When I've had success in my life is when I've just been honest and real. I'm being real with you. As far as the music,
I don't think you're lying.
I've never gotten a chance to do that in music until now. So vocally, just spilling all the beans.
Okay, look, you say what you want about snake semen, and I know people have plenty to say about it. My question would be, what percentage of this honey-like drink is that, right? So if you say, it's 85%, that's the consistency, that would freak me out. If you said, believe it or not, man, it's 5 to 10%, it's weird, but it wouldn't bug me too much. But if you said, no, that's why it tastes and feels like honey, then I'm like, for whatever reason,
Yeah, if there's not that much of it, I guess it's okay.
But, even real honey, it's bees puking, right?
Fine with that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Somehow I'm like, an insect pukes, yeah. Gobble it.
Random.
Hello, Joe. Whoops. Try it again. Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Welcome to the Random Question. What do we got for you? All right. Let's see here. Okay. Who is the last person that you saw naked that you were not in a relationship with? Man or woman? Doesn't matter. Either way.
Oh, my God. So I work at apartment complexes in Tacoma, and I was just walking across the street and happened to look up at one of our buildings and got the full-on front and back of somebody I definitely did not want to see.
Oh, through the window?
Yeah. Like, I don't know what he was doing, and he was doing. I don't know what he was doing, but yeah, I mean, opening the curtains naked, I don't know. People do weird stuff.
9 times out of 10, man, the people you see naked unexpectedly are not the people you want to see naked.
I think sometimes, too, people just forget.
Sure, I mean, if you're that comfortable, you're in your place.
Mm-hmm. Or, I don't know. I've hopped out of my shower before and forgot, like, my,
Me too. I did it the other day. I did it last night.
And
I walk up and close them, but I'm naked.
Yeah, or you're like, I walk out of my living room and just say, I got to turn around.
Ted, he might be working in your apartment complex.
Yeah.
No, I've had it both ways, though. Like, sometimes they know what they're doing. They see maintenance across the building, and they know it. And they just like to mop their floors.
All right. There was a woman last week walking around up in Capitol Hill topless. Tons of people saw her. Just strolling along. Didn't have a top on. Looked completely normal, I guess, otherwise, but just was walking around with everything hanging out. Reason we asked the last person you saw naked you were not in a relationship with. A man is facing charges after he allegedly walked into a restaurant naked, armed with a gun. Ralph Laurent, who is 24 years old, was arrested on 2 counts of lewdness involving a child and disorderly conduct. An officer with the Provo Police Department was dispatched on reports of a naked man inside of a restaurant. One person told officers the man was flexing his muscles aggressively and following people in the restaurant. Officers did find the man, identified as Laurent, in the middle of the South State Street, still naked. He was still completely naked when he was taken into custody and placed into a patrol car. The guy had no clothes. Period. More than a dozen witnesses allegedly saw him in the restaurant at a nearby park. There were children there, which got him that Class A misdemeanor. The children and their father saw Laurent take off his clothes at a nearby park and then just entered the restaurant and start flexing in the middle of the dining area. Yeah. He was transported to the Utah County Jail. Goes in there naked and just starts
has a gun.
Breaking down bodybuilding poses.
Where did he holster the gun, or was he holding it?
He was holding it.
Okay.
I think that he flexed and had a gun.
More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
This Bosch 2-in-1 impact driver rules.
Oh, yeah!
That couldn't have been.
Macho Man Randy Savage indeed, yeah. A.K.A. you're in the Bosch. I'm a macho manifestation of that feeling you get when you use that 2-in-1 impact driver.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, say it with your chest, brother. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Well, we'll work on that.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, combining raw power with precision engineering, all backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. Climb inside a Tundra and experience the uncompromising strength. With its available iForce Max engine, the Tundra delivers exceptional power, torque, and towing capacity. Plus, the spacious and high-tech cabin keeps you connected on the run. Or check out a Tacoma. Agile, dependable, and unstoppable. The Tacoma's designed for those who go beyond the trails. Stay ahead of the pack with available off-road features like crawl control. Or break out your tunes with the available portable JBL speaker. Toyota trucks are built to last, year after year, mile after mile. So outlast every adventure and outlive the moment. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Or stop by your local Toyota dealer to find out more. Toyota, let's go places.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies? Yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes. When they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
Always live on the free Odyssey app from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Thursday, Seattle Rock Day, our annual celebration where we celebrate Seattle's amazing musical legacy for an entire day. Yes. The best. Starting out with the Sonics. Or I guess Bing Crosby even before that when you think of the musical.
What, Tacoma? Bing Crosby?
Quincy Jones. I mean, you name it.
We're going to play the Bing. We're going to play the Bing Crosby.
We should, man.
Hell yeah, we should. Why not,
Does
man?
he have normal songs? I only know him at Christmas.
He does, I think. But I want because he was like one of the crooners back in the day. So I'm sure Christmas, like a lot of crooners, even to this day, Christmas is their golden time. But I want to say, yeah, he's pretty prolific on the scene.
Macklemore, Modest Mouse, of course, your Alice in Chains, Nirvana's, Pearl Jam, Soundgardens of the world, your Grunt Trucks of the world, all the bands that made Seattle. Look, man, there's only a handful of cities in the world that could probably do this kind of day. But because of our rich musical history, we're lucky to have probably one of the best musical scenes in North America. Obviously,
per capita, we can take them out, though. I mean, look, you have L.A. L.A. is the size of a state.
New Orleans, Chicago to some degree.
Again, many, many, many more people. The cities have been around a lot longer. New Orleans, there are a billion acts, but you don't know most of them.
Right.
That said, all of them you would like, but you don't know who most of them are.
Hearts, Queensryche, I mean, you name it. There's a ton of bands. You're going to hear those all day Thursday as we celebrate and give back to SMASH, Seattle musicians access to sustainable health care. Now, if you go to KISW.com, you can donate. They provide medical, dental, health services, and more for free or at a very low cost for musicians in the area. There are auction items that are up now at KISW.com. You can bid on those. But Thursday, we devote the entire day to nothing but Seattle's best music. So you want to tune in for that for sure.
We got to go beat down Ryan Castle's door because the only Bing Crosby that we have in the system is Christmas music. So we gotta get him to put in some good stuff.
You think Bing's got some bangers?
I think he does have some bangers. Man.
Right.
We should
Bang and Bing.
Have a little bit of crooning on.
How many different songs do we have from Bing Crosby?
We have a lot of different songs from Bing Crosby.
Christmas?
They're all Christmas.
Yeah.
Like name a Christmas song. Bing Crosby's got a
fire one up for us. Fire one.
Well,
See how long it'll
hang
take.
on a second.
Believe it or not, though, we get texts all day long. We get emails every time we do this about you guys should do this every day. It's amazing how much just great music has come out of the city.
Well, you forget a lot of it until we play it, once a year to go like, oh, Christ, that's right.
There's Candlebox. There's Presidents of the United States. I mean, yeah. There's a lame-ass heart tune from the 90s.
Oh, that was a rough time. Rough time, ladies.
All the single-word titled songs they did. Alone, Never.
Right.
Oh, this is with David Bowie.
Sounds like David Bowie.
It is.
Little drummer voice.
Yes.
That's correct.
With David Bowie.
Very good.
There's Bing.
That's a pick-me-up.
Yeah.
We'll play that one for you on Thursday. We'll break the playlist up a little bit.
A little correction there. We do have auction items that you can currently look at. That auction goes live on Thursday, so you can't bid on them just yet.
Okay,
it
well,
goes
check
live
it
on
out
Thursday.
and see if there's anything you're interested. There's tons of great stuff on there.
Yeah.
If you want to, hell, you can play golf with me and Mike.
Yeah.
You're going to force him out there and smack some balls. Mike's been looking, but you've been going to the driving range and everything. So
I've been preparing, man.
I know you're prepared for that. We've got got like Lincoln Park pit passes.
Damn.
I want to say that we've got Alice in Chains limited edition vinyl that you can go. There's just a ton of really cool stuff on here. So check the stuff out, KISW.com. Yeah. You can donate now, but Thursday we'll take the time to devote most of the show to Seattle Rock Day. All right, let's see here. It is a random question 206-803. Do we?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if you dropped off or we have a phone issue, but I'll give you guys a random question. Call back 206-803.
Somebody here says, and Ted, I feel like you know the answer to this better than anyone else. Didn't Bing Crosby do the song High Hopes about the ant that can move the rubber tree plane?
No.
He's got high hopes. He's got high
I don't know, man.
hopes.
I'm looking at his songs here. There's nothing on here I really recognize.
Other than the Christmas stuff?
Correct.
All right.
I'll give you
Pistol
guys a...
Packin' Mama.
Pistol Packin' Mama?
Yep.
Damn, I like Bing style.
I love Paris, Galway Bay.
Okay.
I love Paris, Pistol Packin' Mama. Bing had quite the life.
Yep, he smoked that pipe. All right, he actually smoked a pipe.
Right, he's not a crackhead. It's not a glass pipe.
I was thinking even worse than that.
Like a
I like crack.
It's going to be a white Christmas, dude.
I'm so high right now, I'm going to buy property in Ocean Shores, and people think I'll go there to the beach. He did do that.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. They had an idea. They wanted to make Ocean
Shores. That's what it's supposed to be. It was him and a couple other Hollywood people were like, we'll make like a beach resort up here.
All right.
But it just never really caught on.
Yeah, the sun didn't come out.
Didn't, was it Steve Miller? He bought a bunch of land where?
Bellevue.
Was it Bellevue?
Bellevue.
Oh. Yeah, he did okay.
Yeah, I think he married someone who lived over there or whatever. Then it was just farm country. I don't know how long he was married or whatever, but I'm not sure if he lived in Bellevue for some time.
Is he a Seattle guy or he ended up
He's
here?
a San Francisco guy.
Okay.
He was part of that whole scene back in the day, but somehow he got up here for a little bit anyway. There's a lot of people like that. I mean, hell, we're bringing up all these names. Dave Matthews.
Oh, God, right.
Dave
My
Matthews
wife was almost hit by him.
Lives in.
Let me rephrase that.
Did she crash into him? Or did he crash into her?
He almost crashed into her, and to his credit, right, he's like the environmental guy and all this. She's like, this guy is worth millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. She's like, I almost get hit by a Prius. And the guy, he puts up his hands like, so sorry. And she's like, it's Dave freaking Matthews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can visit him anytime you want at the QFC in Wallingford. All right, I'll give you guys a random question. Or do we? Oh, we have an actual caller on the line. All right, we'll get the phone.
Hey, give it to him.
Yeah.
No, we're not getting a question.
All right, the hell do you?
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Adam, welcome to the program. Random question. What do we got here? Let's go with this one. What story, Adam, would your pet tell if your pet could talk about that one time?
He'd probably tell the story of the time I got drunk and passed out in the back of my neighbor's truck and didn't know where I was.
Were you drinking with your neighbor, or is that where you ended up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was drinking with my neighbor, and, the way his truck was parked, I didn't know that I was at home. I came around the next day and was lost. Now, granted, I was only like 100 feet from my front door, but that was beside the point.
How long did it take you to figure out that you were only 100 feet away from your front door?
Longer than it should have.
Was your dog with you, or did you just leave him at home?
Yeah, my dog was in the back of the truck with me.
Okay, probably wondering, what in the hell are you doing?
Just waiting for you to wake up. And did you wonder, like, all right, I don't know where I am. Why is my dog with me?
Well, I wasn't quite sure, but they got me a pillow and a blanket, so I didn't feel too distressed. I just couldn't figure out where I was.
Okay, all right, that's unique. I think my dog would tell the story about how he tried to jump over the cliff at Discovery Park. I don't think he cared, though. I just, you know what I mean?
That dog did not care.
Had to carry his ass up through this sliding sand dune, essentially.
Or maybe he had fun doing it.
He just was gone, man. I don't know if he rolled once and caught himself, but he just spilled over that damn thing, and I'm like, oh, no. And with heights in me, I'm grabbing tree to tree.
Yeah.
Just to stay, upright, freaking the hell out. I'm kind of, basically spider crawling down this hill. Then I finally grab him, and that dog weighed like 60 pounds.
That is a pretty head for a beagle,
so
especially,
to
man.
pick his ass up and into the sand kept slipping on me on this cliffside. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this is how it ends. Me and this dog tumbling over this damn thing into the...
No, the dog would have survived.
Into the railroad tracks, The reason we asked what story would your pet tell, Georgia Gardner was vacationing on Australia's Kangaroo Island in 2023 when her beloved miniature Dachshund escaped from its cage. The dog, who usually wouldn't leave her side, ran off and proved impossible to catch, though Gardner, her partner, and a team of locals tried for a week. Now, Gardner and her partner eventually had to return home without their 2-pound Valerie. 16 months later, Valerie is no closer to being caught, but Gardner can at least find comfort in knowing her dog is still going strong on an island known for its diverse wildlife. After months and months and months of no sightings of the dog, the Kangala Wildlife Rescue announced last week they had their first-hand accounts and video evidence showing that Valerie is still very much alive. Again, she was lost in 2023. The dog was spotted in an open field almost 10 miles away from a campsite from which it escaped. To know she survived so long in the wild is incredible because, again, she's 2 pounds in Australia.
2 pounds.
She was hoping that maybe a kind stranger had found and adopted the pink-collared dog because she was just a little princess, according to her. She was not ever outside, was not a rough and tough dog, and she is considering how she might get to Kangaroo Island from her home on the mainland if someone does manage to catch the dog. They're still trying to catch the dog. The dog has been seen on various closed-circuit cameras and on wildlife cameras as well.
Surviving.
Yeah. They're going to try to set up a trap in the hopes of wrangling in Valerie, who's likely been living off of roadkill and dam water. One more story when it comes to pets.
What if that dog's just like, I'm wild now. I'm so happy.
I'm crazy, mate.
Yeah.
I'm where I need to be.
They say in the aftermath of an animal rescue flight crash that occurred in November in New York's Catskill Mountains, 2 dogs that survived the crash have finally been adopted. The crash resulted in the death of the pilot, a volunteer known for transporting rescue animals from disaster zones and overcrowded shelters. His friends and other rescue pilots, they had created the organization in his memory after he had passed on, which include mobile spay, neuter clinics, pet food pantries. He reported to air traffic controllers, the pilot, that he was experiencing moderate to heavy turbulence at 5,000 feet. He later descended to about 4,300 feet as conditions improved. However, he never reestablished contact with air traffic control, did not issue any distress calls before the plane went down. But in the aftermath, they went looking for the plane. The Civil Air Patrol, all right, they found that in the mix of the crash, 2 dogs were still inside the plane. A Labrador mixed puppy named Whiskey.
Okay.
And a young Yorkshire Terrier mix called Pluto. So Whiskey and Pluto survived. Both sustained injuries. Whiskey had to undergo various surgeries and physical therapy at a specialty hospital. Eventually, Whiskey, now 6 months old, was adopted by his foster family in Connecticut. Pluto swiftly recovered and found a new home in a community near Albany. But... that's all they found when they went to the plane was 2 dogs that were still alive from the crash.
I found out this weekend. We were in Canada for most of the weekend. We got back yesterday afternoon. And so they built 2 new houses behind my house in the last, 9 months, whatever it is. And all the houses that are there are now occupied. We met the people that live behind us. Very, very friendly people. And I'm like, this is cool. They're great people. Not going to have any weird neighbor problems. They put off a good vibe. Then I found out they have a cat. I did not know they had a cat, but I could not figure out why Molly, my dog, is just losing her S for 80% of the time that we're home. She's constantly running into the home office, looking out the window, barking. And the first couple of times I look out there, she'll do a couple of hello barks to my neighbor, right? And he was out because the weather was nice, and this dude is all about working in his yard, but she's not barking at him, and I realized their window lines up with the office window, okay? And their cat is an indoor cat, but it's just sitting in the windowsill, staring directly across at my dog, the way cats do, which is just, F you. If we ever meet, I'll rip your face off. And my dog, and here's the thing, you look at the cat, dead still, does that kind of blink thing that they do, real cool, tail isn't flicking, nothing, but just staring the dog down. And my dog completely lost her ass. And it was just all day. So she'd freak out, come to the living room for like 5 minutes. Then she'd go back and check again. And all I could think is like, Molly, the cat's going to still be there. It drives me up a freaking wall. And then even the walk with the dog, My other neighbor has a cat. This is an outdoor cat, and this is the biggest goddamn outdoor cat I've seen in my life. This cat is completely unfazed by my dog, but again, dogs are dogs. They can't control themselves, so typically the cat does not move. But the one time, the cat was in a place it's not normally at, so they kind of met face to face. Dog immediately starts barking at her, right, doing all her stuff. The cat still didn't move, looked at the dog, and did just one. My dog shut up so quick. I'm like, I don't know what was said. I don't know what words that hiss said, but something like, I will end you. My dog does not bark at that cat anymore. That was a whole interaction.
That's it.
Dude, she's barked at this cat for like the last 4 years. And these people have been there. And like I said, it's always just in her yard, the front yard. You walk by, she knows the cat's there. They can smell each other. And then when she sees it, she'll bark. Not super aggressive, but always bark. Cat never moves. But this time, the cat was not in its usual spot. One hiss. And again, I wish I could translate what the cat said, but it was like, I'm in the mob and I will gut your ass. Dog will not bark and does not even like to look at the cat now. I'm like, yo, man, you're a pretty tough dog, but I don't know what that cat said to you, but she's like, I want none of that.
I had, when I met my wife, she had 2 beagles, and the older beagle, Honey, passed on. And so I come home one day, and there's another dog in my house. And
she'd already replaced it?
Well, she fostered a dog
that does not
named
exist to me.
Chewy. Oh, I am fully aware of this. So she said to me, you know, I don't understand why they named this dog Chewy. We need to figure out a different name for this dog. And I said, no, we don't, because this is a foster dog, and whoever the family is, they're going to either call the dog Chewy, because it's a female, or they're going to give this dog a more appropriate, decent name. Now, I know exactly what the hell's going on. This is a little puppy beagle.
You're not going to foster a puppy.
And she's going nuts. I mean, this dog is crazy. I mean, crazy. So, first thing we do is we go and get a dog crate. And it's a metal crate.
Yes.
Put the dog in the bedroom. We are gone for an hour and a half to go to dinner. The dog is in the crate, in the bedroom. We closed the door because the dog was barking. We had neighbors. We were trying to keep it as, airtight, so to speak, as soundproof as possible. Go to dinner. I will never forget this. We went to Bizzarro, the Italian place in Wallingford. Did not take long to eat. We come home. I go to check on Chewy, and I can't open the bedroom door. The bedroom door, it will not open. I eventually get this door open and realize the dog has chewed through the metal cage. The dog has then ripped up all the carpet on the inside of the bedroom near the door and has chewed through all of the padding on the floor.
Right.
And is now chewing on the plywood, the floorboards, trying to get itself out from underneath this door.
It's like Shawshank Redemption.
I squeezed through an 8-inch just and pop in there. I'm like, oh my God. The hole was through the cage, and I was like, because she was like, I wonder why they named the female Chewy. And I'm like, that's why. This is insane. So basically they had to come and patch the carpet back up. I had to go and get kind of like the equivalent of a wild animal trap cage.
Yeah.
Super enforced. I had a steel cage. I had to go and buy one for like a bobcat, essentially.
Okay, but here's my question. All right, so this is the first time you've left this dog alone, right?
Yes.
And this is a foster. What is the decision-making process that the then wife says, we should keep her? Because to me, I go, okay, look, it came up over the weekend. Somebody said, would you foster a dog? And I said, look, I'm not against it in the idea of fostering a dog, but if I foster a dog, all I've done is get myself a pet dog. I know how I am. However, if I'm conditionally fostering a dog and I come home and that has happened in my home, it will be a foster dog. There's no way I'm keeping it.
Trust me. This was probably a week or two in having this dog. And she says, hey, we're going to take this dog back. And I said, no, we're not. And she said, and she said, why? I said, because your intention was never to foster this animal. Not only that, you didn't ask me anything about it. You didn't even bring it up to me. It wasn't even something that we remotely discussed. You're bringing in basically a family member that you know damn well you were going to keep. Now I'm on this dog's side. We're keeping this dog just based on what you did, because she did not want that dog at that point in time. And that's why I was like, you know what? We're keeping a freaking dog, because you don't just do that to a dog. No.
How much money did that
you
dog
are
cost?
fostering it and trying it out.
That's what she quotes, air quotes.
But I'm just saying, like, if it's chewing through everything, I would have taken it back.
Me too. And like I said, now if I adopted the dog and that happens, I go, crap.
Yeah,
this is my dog fostering, especially if I did not pick it.
But then it was my mission to figure out a way to get this dog to settle down.
But then you got stuck with that dog for years. I've never heard this version of this story, by the way.
Yes, this is. Yeah.
It's always been, I had no idea. And now it's like, I used to feel bad for you.
No, I do, dude. I was like, if you're doing this, then you're gonna
get you in principle.
You're feeling the wrath of this too.
But
we are both figuring this out together.
The difference to me, does this dog cost me extra unnecessary money? And look, all pets are going to cost you extra unnecessary money. I understand that, but not eating my crap. Right. Other than my wife's underwear and pajama pants, that's just something we accept now. But not the infrastructure of my home.
Right. This dog.
You ate through a metal cage. Like, man, we cannot have this half beaver, half dog in my home. I don't trust this.
Don't judge me on this, but I used to have I used to have those canisters up on my kitchen counter, the kind that have the pull off lid on the top where you put flour in, you put sugar in. There are 3 different sizes. They're all different.
Always
sizes.
3, sure.
I was that guy. All right, so I had this stuff in there. I had sugar, I had flour.
And what's the other one you use?
I used the other one for coffee grind.
Okay.
I had a grinder.
We use 2 of the 3, so I'm like, well, flour and sugar.
Well, this dog had amazing human jumping ability. It could jump like, I like nothing I've ever seen, like somebody doing a high jump. It could just pop itself straight up and get on the counter. I came home one afternoon. The dog had picked off the lid with her teeth. She had eaten half of the jar of sugar, and coffee grounds were everywhere. And this dog is literally spinning in circles.
Yeah, sugar and caffeine high.
A million miles an hour. I'm like, oh, this dog's going to die. This dog is like on coke. It is. She's flying. I mean, she is drool's coming down her mouth. Her water bowl's empty. She couldn't get enough. I mean, she was just. I'm like, the dog will just die right now.
that was your head in your bets on that.
Oh my God! You ate half a canister of sugar, just straight sugar, and then went for the coffee afterward.
Well, yeah, you got to wash it down with something.
Back to Anchorman. Like, I'm impressed. I'm not even mad.
Oh, your guess is as good as mine. Coming up, we've got the categories today: terrible drivers, stolen cars. Before that,
we have an announcement concerning the Men's Room World Tour and stop number 3, which is coming up here in just a couple weeks. And we've got your emails coming up next from the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Nerds! Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
Plug in a Hyundai EV and the extraordinary happens. From the charge time and range in the Ioniq 5 and 6 to the adventurous spirit of the Kona Electric to the 601 horsepower Ioniq 5N. Hyundai EVs make the extraordinary electrifying. There's joy in every journey.
EPA estimated 303-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 5 SE SEL Limited rear-wheel drive and 361-mile driving range for 2024 Ioniq 6 SE long-range rear-wheel drive with fully charged battery. Actual range may vary. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
I love the Marquette community. I think, it to me resembles a family of some sort.
You are coming to a place that is not only going to give you a great education, but I think it's going to make you a very well-rounded individual.
Especially because of the size, you can definitely find your people. I came in and it was open arms. While you're here, we're going to try to make you feel that same love and make this place home. We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
At Danner, the journey is never complete. The Danner N45 Trail Hiker is designed to support those willing to sweat in search of their edge, featuring per-spare uppers with a Reaprene gussets for maximum breathability and Endurafoam midsoles for long-lasting comfort and cushion. The recraftable Vibram Mega Grip outsoles are built to be rebuilt. Danner's precision fit technology is available in women's styles. Breathe in the scenery with the Danner N45 Trail Hiker. Wherever you are on your journey, take new steps in the only direction you were meant to go. Forward. Explore the N45 at danner.com.
When water from the pipes was pouring down, filed a claim with Hiscox.
We turned it around. Across America, over 600,000 small businesses look to Hiscox Insurance for protection. Find flexible coverage that adapts to the needs of your small business with a fast, easy online quote at hiscox.com.
'Cause there's no business like small business.
Like no business we know. Get a quote today with Hiscox Small Business Insurance.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Are you a bartender that dreads the phrase, "Hey, can you put the game on?" At Sports on What, we understand your pain and we're here to help. Over-the-air, satellite, cable, or streaming, Sports on What knows what channel the game is on, and you can too. Follow your favorite teams, set alerts, and filter by provider to get the results you need. Stop wasting time searching and never miss kickoff again. Just download the Sports on What app, and you'll always know how to watch the game. Available for Android and iOS. Start your 7-day free trial when you download Sports on What and subscribe today.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Men's Room World Tour 20th Anniversary Edition, stop number 3. Coming up, we'll give you all the details at 4:30. But first, time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Guys, want to give a birthday shout-out for my adopted son from North Dakota. He is 26 today. Name is Big Country.
Big Country.
Met our son Nick in middle school playing football. Shares the same name, Nick, is why we call him Big C. They have been best friends since then, and we miss seeing him since the last visit. So please give a big old bong rib, some shotgun gits, and a fish sandwich. Thanks, guys. That from Julie and from Lance. Lance. Get. Good afternoon, fellas. Hi, Dizzle here, straight out of Bremerton and straight out of F's to Give. Today is my 35th trip around the sun. Bear with me here, guys, because the last 2-ish years of the 6 I've gone through have been profoundly traumatizing with the other half, and now I'm a lone wolf. However, I'm trying my hardest to keep my head up and think positive, treating myself to the upcoming Tech 9 and Chris Webby shows. Super excited, and it is much needed. I'm bringing my T-Rex suit. So can I please get a little positive encouragement from Coach Ted about the future may hold, some Dirty Germans input on dressing sexy or swagging out, and a giant bong rip. Thanks a bunch, guys, and much love. That from Heidi in Bremerton.
All right. So last year was a little bad. Could have happened to anybody, but you're 35 now. You're not 40 yet. You got a lot of things to look forward to. A, this Tech 9 concert. That'll be awesome. Sure you won't meet any strange dudes dressed in black.
Yeah, you're asking for advice on how to be sexy. Listen, if you're dressed as a dinosaur, your body does the job. I personally find the Penosaurus quite exciting.
Yeah, it's very simple. So about the shape of size, just put on some fishnets.
Yeah. Be a slutty dinosaur.
Right. Hello, guys. Yeti here. Today's my birthday, and I know none of my loser friends will write in for my 41st, so here I am. I share my birthday with 2 of my ass friends who are both named Anthony. Between them, they might have the combined IQ of a brick. Regardless, we will take a round of extra Dirty Germans. Thanks, guys, and rock on.
Yeah, first of all, I want to meet these 2 Anthonys that you're friends with. The combined IQ of a brick is something the Dirty Germans are quite into.
Yeah, and you know what goes better than 2 Peters? It's 2 Tonys.
Guys, today's my mom's birthday. I was wondering if you could give her a birthday fish sandwich, maybe a quartet style. My name is Nick, and hers is Allison.
Can I get a fish sandwich? Oh, you know I gotta eat right. Or brother, can I have a fish sandwich? You put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
Birthday shout out, guys. My girlfriend Mindy, one of those really hot girls that's a unicorn, where she's also fun and smart. It's also her birthday today. She left for work before I could see her naked, but I saw her yesterday, and she doesn't look her age at all. All she wants for her birthday is a shout out from the men's room. So I was wondering if Steve could put his viral voice on hold long enough to wish Mindy a happy 50-plus birthday. If not, perhaps the dirty Germans can debate if the rumor is true that Steve's voice alone has impregnated women, even without him doing anything to them. That, guys, is from Dennis with a Z.
Yeah, first of all, in defense of Steve, the only woman that he has impregnated with his voice alone happens to be his girlfriend you're wishing a happy birthday to.
That was you?
Yeah.
That's what somebody put in mind.
Yeah, I should have put the condom over my mouth.
So it's 1 way to 10.
Jesus.
This baby looks German.
But what if it is short and squatty and hairy and black?
So we got this at the same time. That would be funny.
We're like, I guess we both did it.
Yeah.
Game on.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ja, the Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Bob. Let's get a contestant on the line now. For Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. Call 206-803-ROCK. Your Guess Is As Good As Mine coming up right after this very special announcement concerning the Men's Room 20th Anniversary World Tour. Shockingly enough, we have been in this fine city, in this fine radio station for 20 years. Somehow, we've avoided getting fired.
Yes.
And once again, we go on our Men's Room World Tour. Stop number 3 happens Saturday, April 12th at 2 o'clock. It is a free show at Muckleshoot Casino with the reunited New Originals.
Oh.
Performing a free show with Men's Room IPA. The 20th anniversary Men's Room Lager from Black Raven Brewing will be on hand. Of course, we'll feed you with some delicious Men's Room beer brats from Uli's Famous Sausage and some Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from San Juan Salsa Company as we spend a day benefiting our friends at the Fisher House. Come drink with us as we say cheers to 20 years with a free show on Saturday afternoon at the lovely Muckleshoot Casino. Great place to stop by, man, and spend the afternoon. Free show. You got your food, we've got your beers, and hopefully you can party, do the shout of the day, little dirty big dummy.
We got some other things planned for this. I want to say this is, year 3 in a row that we've done Muckleshoot?
Yeah, Muckleshoot is awesome.
All right.
That is a great casino to go and spend the afternoon, spend the evening there, see a live show, do a little gambling.
Unless you want to see Gene Simmons, he canceled his tour.
That's why we're stepping in.
Yeah. He's supposed to be there like 2 or 3 days before us, I believe.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he won't be there. So you know what? We're picking up the slack. That is why the New Originals got together. Gene Simmons gave us a call because we said contractually we will never play a show together again. Right? Just like Motley Crue, though, we decided let's tear up that contract. Gene Simmons said, this is Gene Simmons from KISS, and I need someone to make good on the music. Yeah. So we said, you know what, fellas? Let's fill Gene's big demon boots, go up on stage, and play at least one last show together.
Yeah. Muckleshoot Casino, basically just right up the road from White River Amphitheater. Muckleshoot. So you're really close to there. I guess technically it's Auburn, but it's, the area. But a great way to spend the afternoon. New Originals will be playing that free show. Again, we'll have the sausage, we'll have the beers available.
And, one thing we've done, we decided to have a lot of table games and slot machines surround us. This is full on like casino.
Come down and win some money. And then go see a free show, man. It's going to be a good time. Okay, it's time for a little Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. It's an easy game to play. We get a contestant on the line. You pick from one of 2 categories and see if you can get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. Steve, who is ready to play Your Guess Is As Good As Mine?
Hello, John. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello.
Hola.
John, welcome to the program. Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. That's right, John. You now have a date to join us at Muckleshoot Casino. Got to be excited about that. Saturday, April the 12th. All right, 2 o'clock is the showtime. Okay, let's go. Your 2 categories, both of them involving the auto industry, so to speak. We have the worst drivers
on the road by the type of vehicle brand. So when you think vehicle brand, you know the way that rolls. Subaru, Volkswagen, Ford. All right, so by brand only. The worst drivers on the road. Now, they did this with data from insurance companies, accident reports, and they came up with the definitive list by vehicle. And they basically went through all of the drivers that had accidents, DUIs, speeding tickets, and citations. So the worst drivers on the road, based on insurance company data, that is option number one. Now, your second option is the 10 states with the highest auto theft risk, according to new data.
Yeah.
Basically, your car's been gripped. It's been stolen. So do you want to go states that steal the most cars, or do you want to go the worst drivers on the road?
Let's go with the worst drivers on the road.
Worst drivers on the road. All right.
All right, John, you know how the game is played. Try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes you're out. Again, this is the vehicle brand. By the way, just to give you some insight on some of the things they found. Pontiac is the brand with the highest DUI rate.
That kind of makes sense to me.
Do they even still make those?
They don't.
They do not. They
So
do
I think
not.
about the people that still own or bought a used Pontiac, and like 3 people come to mind that I know at least have had Pontiacs in the last 5 years or so, and they are the people I would think would have a DUI.
Yeah. BMW drivers, the second highest DUI rate, followed by Tesla. So those are the top 3. BMW and Pontiac and Tesla. Volvo, Hyundai, and Kia drivers, believe it or not, have the lowest DUI rates.
I believe that.
Just so you know. Let's see here. On the flip side, they say that Mercury, believe it or not, which is no longer around, Pontiac, and Cadillac, they have the best drivers. Mercury
So
drivers.
Pontiac, either I'm driving really well or I have a DUI.
Yes, you're driving unbelievably or you're hammered. Cadillac and Mercury is the top best driver out there.
I drove Mercury for years.
Of 19 incidents per 1,000 drivers nationally. That's about half the rate as the leaders. Okay, John, so give us the worst drivers on the road compared to what the car brand is.
The worst drivers on the road.
Worst drivers on the road.
Yes.
Okay.
You want to take a guess at some of them, like since you're playing the game?
Like as in DUI drivers?
No, we're talking about just basically accidents, DUI rates, tickets, the citations, accidents, speeding, all those things.
Like the state, right?
No, the car brand.
Type of brands of
the
cars.
Car brand, the car. Sorry, I'm not sober. The car brand.
Yes, John.
Got you.
All right, that
Okay,
makes more sense. Me and Thurl looking at each other like,
Did he miss everything?
You know, John, like Volvo is a car brand, all right? Ford is a car brand. You're looking at the cars on the road that you think people are the worst drivers, and you're giving me as many brands as you think contain the worst drivers.
Okay, BMWs for sure. Oh, they're terrible drivers.
All right, that's number 7 on the list.
Teslas, they're terrible drivers.
That's number 1 on the list, John. Shut up for a second. Let me tell you what your number is there. Okay, so you got 1 and 7. Tesla and BMW are correct. What are you doing over there? Are you high or are you drunk?
Yeah, I'm pretty stoned. I actually lost one of my Snap-on toolboxes, so I'm kind of focusing on 2 different things right now. So it fell out of the back of my truck. But anyways, that's it.
You probably left it at the job site.
Yeah, I heard something fall out of the back of my truck. I went to tongue. I was like, oh, I hope that's not what I think it is. And I just kind of kept on driving.
Wait a minute. You heard stuff fall out of your truck and you did not stop to see if you lost any of your load?
No, because I thought it kind of fell off to the side because I'm used to things shifting around on the side of my truck.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And,
all right.
but unbeknownst to me, my canopy wasn't locked and it kind of just slid its way out. But I'd have to go with Ford drivers.
You're going to go Ford. Ford, believe it or not, is number 20 on the list.
Those people drive.
Yep. So as far as safe drivers
drive
go,
one.
Ford does pretty well because they did 30 different car brands. So they're coming
You're
out
right.
on the
I
better
like that
side.
brand.
Okay.
Ford, drive one.
Yeah. They came up with all these slogans. Just drive one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, John.
The same guy that at Arby's went, let's just tell him we got meat.
What's your next best guess? What's that? Dodge. Just generally Dodge. That's 24th. They have some of the safest drivers on the road, believe it or not.
Oh, man.
I'm thinking like Subarus,
Mercedes.
some Toyotas, especially.
Mercedes.
What's that now?
Mercedes.
Not on the list. Wow. And that is your third strike, John. Okay, let's see if you guys
So what did he get right?
can help mop this up.
He's got Tesla and BMW so far.
Tesla's number 1. BMW is number 7. Subaru have the third worst drivers on the road. That is a fact.
We're safe, so we don't have to drive safely.
Right. I think Toyota's going to be on that list just because of the number of Priuses.
Toyota's number 10 on the list as far as the worst drivers on the road.
I was going to say more of the younger drivers that soup them up with all
I'll
the
give you guys,
aftermarket parts.
we have 3 Japanese car manufacturers. We have 2 more German car makers.
Audi.
And Audi's number 4.
There it is. Volkswagen.
Volkswagen's number 6. That is correct.
Honda.
So there are 3 Japanese, and Honda is number 8 on the worst drivers.
Yeah, I'm going with the younger drivers on those particular vehicles.
I guess is Kia? That's Japanese, right?
Kia's 17.
Oh, good.
So
Good for Kia drivers.
relatively safe, yes.
How about Hyundai?
Hyundai, that's another relatively safe driving
I
car.
thought so.
Yep, 14.
Acura?
Acura, there you go, Ted. Acura drivers. Well, you know what?
Uh-oh.
Acura's number 12.
Oh.
You're still bad driving, but they're not the worst. The top 10.
I'm just trying to think of what other Japanese cars there are.
Right?
What kind of Acura do you got? What is that called? Is it Integra or something?
CL, I don't know. It's from 06.
What about Mazda drivers?
Mazda's number 5. Now you've got 1 Japanese car manufacturer left. This is a higher end luxury car. So as far as like the equivalent
Lexus?
Toyota to Lexus,
Lexus.
it's kind of like that, but a different company.
But not Lexus. Okay.
Yes.
Xfinity. I mean,
Infinity. That is correct. That is number 9.
Sorry.
And
I got in an accident. I was watching cable.
And one of these is a U.S.-made truck brand. And they are
GMC.
number 2. Not GNC.
Chevys? No, that's GMC.
Not Chevys.
Already said Ford. Already said Dodge.
You said Dodge, but you did not say...
Oh, the Ram.
Ram is number 2.
Yeah.
Specifically the Dodge Ram.
The Dodge
That
Ram.
makes sense. Bernie, that's all his company has, and that guy drives like a maniac.
Worst
They
drivers
always
on the
have,
road.
man.
Toyota 10, Infiniti at 9, 8 is Honda, BMW 7, Volkswagen 6, Mazda 5, 4 Audi, 3 Subaru, Ram is 2, and 1, the worst drivers on the road, that would be Tesla. Real quick, the best drivers on the road drive Mercuries, Pontiacs, Cadillacs,
Old cars.
Chrysler, Lincoln, Buick,
Old people.
Chevrolet. Yeah, you figured out.
They're hanging out in the right-hand lane.
Figured out the formula.
Doing 60
That's
on the
exactly
freeway. Keeping to the right like they're
Good
supposed
times.
to be.
Nothing wrong with that, Mike.
Nothing wrong at all. Stay where you belong to the right. That's all
Coming
I'm
up
going to say.
at 5:08, we will drink and toast. With the shot of the day, you are listening to the Men's Room.
Oh, this Bosch miter saw really is smooth. Feeling smooth. Who said that? It's your inner Bosch, baby. I'm that scoobity-bebop smooth feeling you get when you make smooth cuts with that moobity-mibbity-mibbity-mubbity miter saw. So I'll just keep ski-bop sawing then? Now you're getting it. Beep-bop, beat-up, wow, miter saw is my favorite.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
$50,000 to $80,000 to repair and replace a broken sewer? That stinks.
Well, that's what you get when you buy an older home.
We don't have that kind of money. I mean, who does?
Well, don't wait until it's too late. Call Pinky's.
Pinky's?
Yes, Darlene. Pinky's Plumbing. They do everything plumbing, even sewer and drain cleaning. A little preventative maintenance now will save you a big headache later. Just schedule it at pinkysplumbing.com.
Oh, thanks, Ethel.
Plumbing backs up and things get stinky. Call Pinky's.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. So get in a Tundra with the available iForce Max hybrid engine, delivering exceptional torque and towing capacity. Or check out a Tacoma. With available off-road features like crawl control, it can take you beyond the trails. Toyota trucks are built to last. So don't wait. Get yours today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
What kind of programs does this school have? How are the test scores? How many kids do a classroom? Homes.com knows these are all things you ask when you're home shopping as a parent. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, test scores, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by Homes.com's dedicated in-house research team. It's all so you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Nerds!
Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, if you missed the announcement, the Men's Room 20th Anniversary World Tour stop number 3 is on Muckleshoot Casino. Reunited New Originals. They put their differences aside.
That's right.
And we'll go back on the stage Saturday, April 12th at 2 for an absolutely free show.
I didn't think you guys were coming back to that one, man.
I didn't either, man.
Yeah, we were pretty confident that it was over. You know, things ended poorly, man. Signed the contract.
Rough blow up, man.
And then what we were going to do, inspired by Gene Simmons, we were going to do the hologram of the New Originals. But we decided, you know what, man?
Yep.
Let's give them flesh and blood New Originals.
Come on, drink with us for a free show and good times as we say cheers to 20 years. All the details on that free show at KISW.com. All right, speaking of drinking, coming up at 5:08, we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. The average American spends 138 minutes every day stuck in worrisome thoughts.
Damn. I mean, there's days where that happens, but overwhelmingly, no.
Mostly when I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
What is going on here?
And it makes sense. Look, we do need to worry to some degree because that's what motivates us and inspires us to go out and fix those worries as they were. But don't dwell on it too much. Give it its day and then put it on the shelf when you're done.
Yeah, I'm not a big dweller. Like, things happen, and then, like I said, until you have a time machine, you can't do anything about it.
Correct.
Take it, let you move on. What else are you going to do?
I will shout it from the hilltops until the cows come home.
You have any other analogies?
Yeah, right. My mantra has always just been, is there anything that we can do about it at this present moment at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
No.
So I'm laying in bed.
Go
yeah.
back to sleep. Get some good rest and then get back to it the next day. Doesn't always work like a charm. However, it's better than nothing.
Sure.
New research has found that just 1 week of cold plunges slows the aging process at a cellular level.
How many times a week? Is that every day?
Ooh, I believe so, yes.
Okay. All
right. I'm okay to just get old, man.
Well, I look at those things. They have the commercials, the ads for them online where you can just get like an inflatable one.
Yeah.
I'm like, how long does it take to fill that thing up?
No kidding,
and
dude.
where are you getting all this ice at?
There's a TikToker that'll show up on my
That's all I'm
feed from
saying.
time
Like,
to time.
every day I got to go buy 3 big bags. Do you know, back to the stand-up, do you know how hard it is to get ice at a convenience store? Yeah, you need to drive 5 miles down the road and then enter the code.
There's a TikToker that shows up on my feed from time to time, and he's a Lions fan, so I'm wondering if he's somewhere north Michigan because he's actually he's got like one of those big old basins that he just leaves full, and the damn thing freezes over overnight.
Right.
Like he starts his day by pounding a hammer on this doggone thing, and he sits in there for like 5 minutes. Yeah.
I have a buddy that just bought a giant freezer and just keeps it full, like a meat freezer.
Of ice?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't freeze over. It just stays really cold.
All right.
Okay. So I guess he's probably got it at like 35 or something. But then, yeah, you just go on his balcony in the morning and dip in.
Huh.
From what I hear, that it just takes care of inflammation, apparently, and it'll slow the aging at a cellular level, but...
It wakes you up. I mean, look, I like them.
Okay.
I'd rather do that than a cold shower.
Yeah.
Cold shower's tough because you got to, like, there's too much room for me to get away from it.
Would you just jump into a cold lake every morning?
I'd try it.
Okay.
But, I mean, I like cold.
Yeah, fair enough.
That helps.
Yeah.
Today is National Hug a Medievalist Day.
There's so many to hug.
There are.
How do you pick which one is your favorite medievalist?
Medievalist.
Medievalist.
Do you remember the legend of Medieval Knievel?
Medieval Knievel
tried to jump his horse over a canyon. He died that day, but he gave it the old effort.
He whipped the crap out of that horse. Come on.
We can do this.
Punch it, damn it.
That's after his first horse burst into flames trying to jump through that flaming hoop, man. Medieval Knievel.
Tried to jump over a helicopter. That was a dirty one.
Who is that? Nate Bargatze that talks about his dad was like a magician who worked like the carnival.
No.
And he's like, yeah, but they'd have this animal jump out into the pool from a platform. So it's hard for my dad to follow it up. And he's like, that animal never jumped. They basically just pushed it. Go. Well, remember way back in the day in Atlantic City, that was like a thing, right? Wasn't there like a woman that would jump a horse into a tiny pool on the boardwalk?
There was something like that, yeah. Back in the days where people were like, man, that's cool. Now we're like, that's awful. What are you
Terrible
doing?
idea.
That's one of those things, though. You know it's awful for that animal. If somebody said, hey, down there on the boardwalk, they got a horse jumping 100 foot into a tiny pool, I'd be like, this is bad, but I got to go see it.
I'm not saying I wouldn't go. I'm just saying it's awful.
Right. Who's the guy with the cattle prod up there?
I think the horse likes it.
Hey, kids, you want to be traumatized? Come with me.
Oh, dude, remember, I went to the Texas State Fair, and I paid 5 of my tickets to go see Tiny Tim, the world's smallest horse.
Yeah.
You get in there, and there's this pit. And the bottom of the pit is that horse. And the guy leans over and goes, honestly, man, he's just a dwarf. Oh, what? He's a dwarf horse. He's not the tiniest. All right, man.
All right,
it was as disturbing as you think.
Pull the curtain back.
I swear to God, that little horse was just down there staring at the wall.
Oh, no.
The wall's right here, Mike. He was just like,
oh, no. He just hates his life.
I think, Texas is different.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Tiny Tim.
Oh, no. Raw doggers like Miles that have taken the internet by storm traveling on planes have apparently taken over London subways as well.
I read that today. Just like people are freaked out.
Let them do
because
it.
anytime you're on a huge passenger type anything, plane, train, bus, whatever, everyone's doom scrolling or listening to music or reading the book or whatever. But the one person that's content to just look out the window, no music, no book, like they're weird. They are now considered strange.
Right, that's the strange
because
guy.
they don't need all this outside stimulus. They can shut off the world for a couple minutes.
Right, I don't do it all the time. When I jump on the light rail, I will get my reading done if I really, really want to. But most of the time, I'm just watching the world out there.
If I'm on the light rail, man, I absolutely I don't do anything. I sit on the light rail. I don't need all the extra noise. And actually, you miss out on some good things. There was a guy last time I took the light rail. I'm headed back home. It's a couple of months ago. And I hear this woman. I'm not facing them. They're behind me. And I hear this. Actually, I hear the guy first. The guy goes, "What are you staring at?" He picked with the wrong woman because this woman immediately at the top of her lungs said, "I'm effing looking at your ass, looking at your porn magazines with these children." Seriously, man. It's went on for like 5 minutes. That's what the F I'm looking at, mother effer. You gonna do something about it, bitch? Put your magazines away, pervert. The next stop, not his stop, but he got off the train. Yeah, and he had his little magazines tucked under his arm. I didn't realize he was looking at porn, man. So he tried to intimidate her. She's like, "You picked the wrong
Take
system
your
to say."
smut off this train.
Oh, man, yeah. So then everyone's looking at him like, he is looking at porn, man.
If you're looking at porn on the train, why would you call anybody out?
And that's the thing. I just heard, "What the F you looking at?" And she went off.
You're nasty ass.
But the
looking at
people
porn.
with the headphones, they missed half of it. I'm like, this is awesome.
You ever put headphones in and just have nothing on?
Yes.
Yeah, right? So it's like
people leave you alone.
Right, but also you can blatantly listen to other people's conversations without... I don't know. I feel like if I don't have them in, they can tell. But it's like, oh, look, I got a book in front of me. I'm not listening to you psychos.
Well, one of the last times that I actually had headphones on, and I was on a bus probably 10 years ago. I'm coming into work, and it's at this point, I'm using an iPod. So every time a new song comes on the screen, it glows, and it says the title of the song. And, of course, we pick up, I guess, an elementary school or daycare or whatever. But a bunch of kids get on. This little kid sits down next to me. I'm listening to Tool. And the kid's not paying me any mind, but it switches to the next song. So the screen glows, and of course the kid looks down at the screen, and it's hooker with a penis.
Oh.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is...
Damn, man.
Kid did not look at me for the rest of the ride. I'm like, sorry.
Sorry, bud. CPAPracticeAdvisor.com. CPAPracticeAdvisor.com has a full piece on why, quote, trusting social media for financial advice is a terrible idea.
You don't say. I think trusting social media for any concrete advice is probably a bad idea.
The thing is that it still needs to be said. There's an article on it because it needs to be said.
You're right.
Yeah. I can't not believe it, but yes.
I know.
I lost all my life savings with the Hawk Tua coin.
Yeah, you did.
Damn shame.
I didn't see that one collapsing.
I thought for sure that'd take off.
She didn't even get in trouble.
Invest in that thing.
Scientists are attempting to answer the age-old question, why do men like boobs?
Because we don't have them.
Correct. There's a lot of reasons why men like boobs.
I mean, Seinfeld crushed it. There's years ago, Jerry and George, Kramer, whoever, they're talking about some woman's boobs, and Elaine says, "Why are you guys always about boobs? Why can't you be about legs?" And Jerry just says, "We have legs."
Yeah.
I mean, But it's done.
Exactly.
There's nothing more to
Well,
it.
we have a but, too.
We do.
We do.
But.
Theirs is better.
Yeah.
All day.
But.
But you know what? This just... The curious man in me always craves to learn, and this just sparked my learning...
Oh, did it?
My learning nerve back there, so I decided to go for it.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 fun facts about boobs you probably didn't know. Boobies have been around for about 150 years. Female breasts, of course, have been around for a lot longer than that, and boy, can we tell. To date, there are at least 212 synonyms for the female breast. Chugs, wallabies, grapefruits, zoomers, zogs, cajublies, paps, apples, globes, fun bags, and booby. Booby may have come from the Latin word bibere, meaning to drink. That word has morphed into booby, which became boob. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk on tatas.
Thank you, VD. So here's some fun facts about boobs for you. The largest breast implants in the world belong to Shayla Hershey of Houston, Texas, formerly of Brazil. Ms. Hershey's implants put her at an astounding 38 triple K.
Cannot be healthy.
She had to have the procedure done in her native Brazil, as the U.S. doesn't allow that amount of silicone in a body. The surgery led to repeated staph infections in both breasts and the eventual necessary removal of the implants. However, the implants were later replaced. As of 2011, she was attempting to get her breast up to triple M's.
We used to be a proper country.
Yeah, that's right.
You could get as big a fun bag as you wanted.
We used to believe in something here.
Yeah, but now we stand for nothing.
We'll still
your boobs are too big.
We'll still sell you a 64-ounce soda.
That's right.
The
Yeah.
boobs are too big.
Gonna
Hey, if
limit
some
woman's
lady wants to
breasts.
get giant boobs.
Why does anyone care?
Yeah, like that's too much silicone. Like, yeah, it's dangerous, but I don't know. Let's look at it.
So was smoking.
Yeah.
Ain't my back.
Right.
Everyone's taste buds vary. Breast milk is generally considered to have a sweet flavor, due in large part due to high amounts of lactose.
Okay. Makes sense.
So there you
And
go.
you want your kids to drink it.
Correct.
Right. Let's make it sour. Yeah, I feel like nature's like, what's a flavor that children will enjoy?
Right. Hey,
Actually, it'd be chicken nugget.
Ice cream.
In 20 years, we'll evolve that it tastes like chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
Right.
Specifically Dino Nuggets.
Yeah, right. No, this is Dino Nugget breast milk.
They could make that with Similac, you know. I don't know.
Tastes like macaroni and cheese.
Crack.
Crack
Macaroni and cheese.
There's actually a little nugget of powder over here. Some fun facts about breasts. Alas, for smokers out there, cigarette smoke is hell on your breasts, it says. It's true. The chemicals in cigarette smoke break down the elastin in our bodies, leading to saggier boobs.
Yeah, mine have completely gone away.
Yeah, they are, man. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You're sagging pretty good over there.
My sagging man boobs.
You're sagging man boobs. That's why he keeps his shirt on when he's in the
It's
pool.
also my handle on Twitter.
Saggy man boob. I guarantee you that handle's
You
already
know
taken.
it's taken.
It's already
You'd have
gone.
to be like Saggy Man Boobs
What year were you born?
2027. 69, believe it or
Oh,
not.
saggy man boob 69.
Guaranteed it's taken. I'm going to Google it right
Throw
now.
a 420 in there. We're all good to go. There's actually 5 beautiful states here in the great US of A where a woman can walk around topless.
I believe Washington must be one of those.
Washington is not one of
It's
those.
not.
Any other guesses? As far as the 5 states where a woman can walk around topless.
Hawaii?
Number 2 on the list, Hawaii. You
Okay.
guessed it.
Maine.
Maine is on the list. You guys got
Alaska?
2. Alaska's not on the list, no.
Okay.
You have New York, Hawaii, Texas, Maine, and Ohio. Says though they might try to pick you up on a public nuisance charge in Texas unless you're in Austin.
You might be the highest mountain in all of Ohio if you do that.
Land of
It's a
bags.
flat state.
By the way, Saggy Man Boobs 69 is taken.
What do you know?
Yeah, shocking.
There's actually a whole political movement behind women being topless in public called Top Freedom.
Top freedom.
Top Freedom.
We're going to have bottom freedom?
That's next.
Bottom Freedom.
Yeah. It's like one of the berries hang out.
Winnie the Pooh, Donald Duck, man, they're the pioneers of this movement.
Man, I want to start just a movement of Sideberry.
You can only show one.
That's right.
It has to be a profile.
Walking around in public
Yeah.
with these little skimpy bottoms on.
You know they designed jeans for it.
We got some Sideberry thrown out there.
Would you buy that cereal? Sideberry. Ooh. The captain's new Sideberry.
Little half moon shapes.
They're already soggy. Before they hit the milk.
Got pretty soggy. Oh, no. They're all shriveled. Fun facts about boobs. Oh, some women can reach orgasm just through nipple stimulation.
Oh, no kidding.
In one study published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, it was found that for some women, self-stimulation triggered the genital sensory cortex of the brain.
Yeah, I'm like Diplo out there. Turning knobs.
DJ Ted,
get ready for the beat.
It's like Shaq Diesel up there.
Yeah, DJ Diesel.
Among primates, only humans have permanent breasts.
Theirs fall off?
All other primates only
they just drop to the ground like leaves in the autumn.
They just molt like a lizard.
Look at all these chimpanzee breasts on the ground.
That's where implants come from. All other primates only grow full breasts for the purpose of feeding their children, and then, then they just go away. Then they just recede. So enjoy that.
I wonder if there's any chimps out there like, I just want to get her pregnant again, man.
Come on.
It's not that I want more kids. I just really like her boobs.
Just really like these boobs.
Guess I met her when she was pregnant.
Breast size is not static. Yes, we all know that if you gain or lose weight or become pregnant, your breasts will grow or shrink. But did you know that your breasts can grow by as much as a cup size during PMS? Too bad.
It's like the Grinch's heart.
It says uneven. Don't worry, that's normal. Many women have one breast slightly or not so slightly larger than the other. It is perfectly normal, so don't fret. Fun fact, for about 65% of women, it happens to be which one of the two that is larger? 65% of women.
Left.
Left? Miles?
Right.
Right? Ted? Break the tie?
Left.
The left breast. 65% of women have a larger left breast.
For some reason, I just felt like most people are right-handed. I don't know if there's any correlation to that at all.
Ooh, I wonder.
And I mean, think about it. Like your muscle, if you're right-handed, the muscles in your right arm will probably, or at least your right hand,
because your pec is involved with your arm movement to a degree there.
So I feel like
less action on the left side. It's like, all right, let's just store it over here.
Again, I don't know if that's true, but that was why my guess was my guess.
They can get dry. The skin over a woman's breast is thinner than that of the rest of her body, with a few exceptions. Because of this, breasts are prone to dry skin. They say that make sure that you moisturize. And if you need any help, just ask your husband. He'd be more than happy to apply.
As any guy, he will be happy to help.
I need help.
I'm your moisturizer.
Oh. And then here's your number one truly wild fact that you never knew about boobs. The largest natural breasts in the world belong to Annie Hawkins Turner, a.k.a. Norma. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm glad I caught myself.
Norma?
No, just Norma.
All right.
But you know the last name. Of the right here in the US of A, who has a 70-inch chest, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. It's a bra size 102 triple Z.
Come on.
She suffers from gigantomastia, which is a slow but steady growth of the breast and fat tissue. I don't think her breasts have stopped growing.
I think at that point, that's got to be the case.
Yeah.
I've read something about it before. I believe like she's had breast reductions, but it's a temporary fix, right? They're going to keep growing.
Right.
They take stuff out, and then they keep growing back.
God. Mercy. A man in Utah was arrested for crimes that would get him tased by our own Steve the Thrill Hill, and I will test your memory at 5:50.
Yeah, what are those crimes? Headlines are out at 5:50. In the meantime, have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast the New Delhi, India Police Department. They finally apprehended a known criminal identified only as 27-year-old Deepak, who had committed at least half a dozen thefts and or knife-related crimes in the area. Now, he had almost been apprehended multiple times, but he always managed to escape. However, he was spotted at a local park, and the police prepared themselves in advance to finally take him down. They put on rubber gloves and gas masks, chased him down, tackled him, and took him into custody. Now, the officers, they were celebrated because people have known about this guy. But the reason that they wore gloves and gas masks is because Deepak has the ability to poop on command.
Uh-oh.
And on several occasions, when police attempted to arrest him in the past, he would, and I quote, poop his pants to create a stench so foul that police were given pause, giving him enough time to make a run for it. So the whole thing with this guy, they were aware of him. They knew what he looked like. But every time the cops would grab this guy, apparently whatever he let loose in his own pants, it was so gross and so bad that they would pull back. And in the moments that the cops pulled back, he would take off running. And it wouldn't catch up to him. So the cops now, they started loading up their vehicles with the gloves and the gas mask. Well, look, if we spot them, basically equip yourself, as it were, take them down. It finally worked out.
Damn.
And Deepak has been taken off the street. That is a hell of a move.
That is.
Well, once you get him in the car, he's going to crap again.
Well, that's it, man. Well, that's why they have the gas mask. They're like, look, we'll clean up later, but we don't have to smell it. So we pour this booze, and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
Let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This now. 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies, yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes, when they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes, plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Catchy tune, right? But don't let the urge to sing along distract you from the truck drifting towards your lane or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you. And Hyundai has over 120 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't... Hyundai vehicles have won over 120 IIHS Top Safety Awards from 2006 to 2024.
I love the Marquette community. I think, it to me resembles a family of some sort.
You are coming to a place that is not only going to give you a great education, but I think it's going to make you a very well-rounded individual.
Especially because of the size, you can definitely find your people. I came in and it was open arms. While you're here, we're going to try to make you feel that same love and make this place home. We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
At Danner, the journey is never complete. The Danner N45 Trail Hiker is designed to support those willing to sweat in search of their edge. Featuring per-spare uppers with a Reaprene gussets for maximum breathability and Endurafoam midsoles for long-lasting comfort and cushion. The recraftable Vibram Mega Grip outsoles are built to be rebuilt. Danner's precision fit technology is available in women's styles. Breathe in the scenery with the Danner N45 Trail Hiker. Wherever you are on your journey, take new steps in the only direction you were meant to go. Forward. Explore the N45 at Danner.com.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Hey, anyone know what channel the game's on? We know. Download the Sports on What app today and always know how to watch the game. Satellite, cable, or streaming. Sports on What knows the channel the game is on, and you can too. Subscribe today to start your 7-day free trial. Sports on What? We know.
99.9 KISW. Text the men's room at 206-803-ROCK.
TV Time with Ted brought to you by Xfinity. Give them a call, 1-800-XFINITY. The men's room presents Profile This.
And Steve the Thrill Hill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Devin. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola! All right, Devin, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. You have your choice today of one of 3 stories. We offer you Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? We have Hit Me with Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional object that someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally today, we offer you Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Let's animalize it.
Animalize it. A professional snake catcher in Australia was called out to a home where a pet had a close call with a coastal carpet python that squeezed its head into the animal's cage. Stuart McKenzie of Sunshine Coast Snake Catchers 24/7. He posted a video to social media showing the scene that unfolded at a Queensland home where a hungry coastal carpet python set its eyes on a caged pet. McKenzie said, quote, "Thankfully, we got here in time. I arrived here just then. The pet and the snake were literally touching noses in between the bars of the enclosure. Unfortunately, many animal cages are still sold, regardless of whether they're snake-proof or not." He continues, "In our industry, it's hard seeing so many families lose their pets because of this, because apparently in Australia, the pythons are eating anything they want." Now, he wrote that the snake cannot be blamed for seeing pets as a meal. He says it cannot differentiate between wild animals to pet animals, and is simply trying to feed itself. We're just lucky that for the pet's sake, we came quick enough. Now, the snake was safely relocated to a wilderness area to find its next meal. The question is, what was the python about to have a little snack on? Was it a dog, a cat, a bird, or a rabbit? Dog, cat, bird, or rabbit? The python was already touching noses with one of these.
What do you think, Miles?
I mean, logic says it's a bird, but that means that I'm wrong. I'm going to go, you know what, man? I don't know why you would cage a dog. I'm going to go dog.
Dog. What do you think, Ted?
I think it's a rabbit. I don't really have a ton behind it. I just feel like if any animal's going to stare at a snake about to eat it, it's a rabbit.
Because they don't move much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What it's going to do?
I think I'll take cat.
Cat, huh?
Yeah.
What was this python trying to eat? A dog, a cat, a bird, or a rabbit? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the men's room. Category is Analyze This on Profile This. We head to Australia, where a snake catcher was called, where a python was actually going for a family pet that was in a cage.
Yes.
They got there in time to wrangle out the python before it ate the caged family pet. Question is, was that pet a dog, a cat, a bird, or a rabbit?
And Devin, that is the question that we posed to you. Let's start with Miles Montgomery. You went with the, you already went ha-ha. Damn.
Yeah.
You went with the old dog. It was not a dog. The Ted Smith, you went with the rabbit, which to me makes the most sense, but... So that leaves you, Devin. You went with the old household cat.
Come on.
No!
Right, it was not a cat. It was, in fact, a bird,
Okay,
Miles.
just a regular bird.
It was the bird, yeah. Huh. All right. I'm just wondering, I don't know if it was inside or outside. That is not covered in the story at all.
I'm assuming inside.
Yeah, I think the snake had to get in the house.
Yeah, you just feel like that.
You don't leave it. Well, I mean, I don't know.
It's Australia, man. I don't know. I don't know.
But why would you keep a bird outside?
That's what I mean. It's
where they
weird.
live.
But why would you put them in a cage, man?
You own a bird. It's in the house.
Yeah, but you could have the cage outside.
You could. I don't know that I would do that. I would not leave any of my pets in a cage outside in Australia.
You ever walk into someone's house and they got a chicken in there?
Well, chickens to me is different than having a pet bird.
You're right. I don't feel like a
pet birds stay inside.
Yep. Now for all TV news all the time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. You got the Jimmies.
Fallon and Kibble.
Weekend Update. Seth Meyers. Bill Maher. Colbert.
Steven.
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there. The title. These guys have teams of talented writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom? Or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Will Smith has released his first album in 20 years, and ironically, the album doesn't slap.
The Ted Smith.
Yes.
Weekend Update.
Will Smith has released his first new album in 20 years, and ironically, the album doesn't slap.
A woman in Florida is in trouble after robbing a Dairy Queen at gunpoint and only stealing $1.50. She's now facing a blizzard of charges.
God, I hope that's you. I'll say
The Ted Smith.
That's me.
Yes, nice one.
The genetic testing company 23andMe says it's bankrupt, and it's also 2% Cherokee.
Weekend Update. Or no, Bill Maher.
Fallon. Update.
The genetic testing company 23andMe says it is bankrupt and also 2% Cherokee.
Since 23andMe just declared bankruptcy and Dollar Tree sold Family Dollar with a loss of $7 billion, they have to form a new company called Family Tree. Family Tree, where you can find out your ancestors got here in 1910 and you can buy toothpaste made in the same year.
Bill Maher.
So it's either Maher or Myers. Myers.
That's Bill Maher.
Since 23andMe just declared bankruptcy and Dollar Tree just sold Family Dollar at a loss of $7 billion, they have to form a new company, Family Tree. Family Tree, where you can find out that your ancestors came here in 1910 and you can buy toothpaste made in the same year.
I saw a homeless guy set up outside of a dollar store, and I was like, have some pride.
Is this the lucrative spot, man?
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know, maybe a 7-Eleven, but a dollar store?
I think his thought is, where do people use cash?
West Virginia is the first state to officially ban artificial food dye, which should make food healthier for the baby you just had with your cousin.
Wow. Bill Maher.
Weekend Update.
Weekend Update.
West Virginia has become the first state to ban artificial food dyes, which should make food healthier for the baby you had with your cousin.
It's never going to end there, Miles.
No, it's not.
It just keeps going.
It's still funny.
Did you guys watch SNL?
I did not.
Nope.
All right. I started watching it yesterday, but then I fell asleep, so I gotta go home. Got to rewatch a bulk of it today.
Got a little bit of Vegas hangover there,
to say the least. I mean, is it count as a hangover if you only slept 2 hours or 5 hours in like 48 hours?
At that point, it's just sleep deprivation. Yeah.
Right? Because I went to bed at around 11 or 12 on Friday night, got up at 4, went to Vegas. I think I slept for 2 or 3 hours in Vegas. So they got on a plane and came back.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing you got that flight. Both of them. I mean, even waking up sober at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning is hard enough.
It was a little touch and go getting to SeaTac Saturday morning. I definitely hit the snooze a couple times. But like with Vegas, that was one of those things. Like I woke up in the bed, which is kind of ironic because they screwed up our room. So we had one bed.
All right.
My buddy had paid for it. He's like, I get the bed. I was like, I know. I woke up in the bed. He was on the couch.
Oh, boy. I think we know what happened there.
But that's definitely, for some reason, that was easier. We were like, let's just get up and go.
Yeah.
And then, Miles, where did we eat lunch?
In-N-Out Burger?
Airport.
Okay.
Chili's.
Oh, you went to Chili's.
What did you get at Chili's?
Southwestern egg rolls.
I don't know why I asked. I don't even know why I asked that question. Yeah.
That's it? Just the egg rolls?
Well, we got like the triple dipper, but honestly, at this point, we were playing it a little tight to the gate, so we just kind of hammered that down. There's 4 of them on there, and then you went and got on the plane. So Morgan Wallen on SNL was the guest host, or the musical guest. So I don't know if you guys have seen this part of it, but right, the show ends. The last thing is the musical guest is on stage with the guest host.
Right.
Right.
Who was the guest host?
The guest host was, what is her name? I don't have it here.
All right.
She's some actress. I'll be honest with you. I did not recognize
she the
her.
one? She may have been the chick who just won like Best Actress at the Oscars, I think.
Mickey Madison?
Something. I think that's her, yeah.
Right. So she's there hosting, and basically what happens is at the end of the show, they'll both stand there. She'll say, hey, thanks to the cast and crew, thanks to Morgan Wallen. They'll hug or say something, and as the music and credits play, generally you kind of stand there and stay on stage and say,
continue to hug and high five.
Right, like good job, thanks to the crew and the staff, especially the people that are on the show that made you that kind of helped out. But Morgan Wallen he shook her hand and then he just walked out, like walked straight to the through the camera, like out the back, and then he posted him hopping on his private jet. It's like, got it back to God's country. So. I have 2 views on it. Mike and I were saying this. I don't know why he seems to do stuff just to annoy people sometimes, because it's like, I like your music. I want to not think you're a D-bag, but like, why not stand there and just like, you have a private jet.
Yeah.
Right? So there can't be any massive rush.
Right. It leaves when you say go.
Yeah. Right? So then people are kind of like, I can't believe he did that, this and that. Or... a lot of people are like, he's right. Like, SNL's too biased, this and that. But there's a simpler thing for that. Like, just don't do it.
Yeah, I was like, don't do it.
Pull a Sinead O'Connor, right? It's live TV. You could sit there and be like, I think this show's BS or what, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It just seemed kind of crazy. Obviously, the sources close to Morgan say he didn't mean anything by it. He just wanted to get on there and get back to Tennessee because he doesn't like New York City, which
I can believe that.
Yeah. But then Kenan Thompson, who's been on the longest running member of the show, he came out today and was just like, look, it's not unheard of. Yeah. He said Prince did it. And he's like, I'm not comparing the two. But he's like, Prince was very standoffish. And also he said, like, look, I didn't meet Morgan once this week. Like, he wasn't really around, this and that. Yeah. So, I mean...
Well, he's just doing a couple songs. If they want to include him in a skit, that's one thing. Maybe he was on 1 or 2, but he's not going to be the focal point of the show. Yeah. He's there to play 2 tunes he already knows and maybe be involved in something else.
You're right. I would also say Morgan Wallen, remember during the pandemic, right? He was supposed to be on Saturday Night Live, and then he got caught like a week or 2 before that in some bar kissing a chick, right? Yeah. Because that's when you weren't supposed to be in bars and this and that. So they didn't have him on, and then they had him back a few weeks after that. So, to me, I thought that was a nice kind of olive branch that SNL had said, you know what, it's fine. You can still come back. So, I don't know. Again, he might have just walked off because he wanted to, but to me, it just seems odd. You're on SNL. Tell us, you know what I mean? And also, you are Morgan Wallen. I don't know if a ton of them love your music, but, you're a massive star.
He's a massive star.
It's probably cool for people at least to be like, I met him. I don't know. Just turn around and say, good job. Thanks for making the show funny.
But the flip side, he's almost like Kanye. And says it doesn't matter what he does because everyone just says, it's Morgan Wallen being Morgan Wallen. And Mike said it earlier about Kanye. Yeah, it's not like you get a pass, but everyone goes like, right, you're the guy that does that. So you did what people figured you would do.
Correct. All right. Have you guys heard about all this controversy over the New York Yankees' new bats?
Only that, I guess, they just were crushing runs, and then someone noticed the bats later or something like that.
They hit 9 home runs during a 20-9 blowout of the Brewers on Saturday. They hit 4 dingers, hit 9 home runs. I was going to say, they've hit 15 in their first 3 games. Basically, they have these new bats.
But just the Yankees?
Torpedo bats. So other teams can order them.
Okay.
The guy that invented them is like a hitting coach. I guess he had been with the Yankees. I want to say he's down in Miami or Tampa Bay now. Right? So then a lot of people are like, well, this is illegal and this and that. Now, baseball, to its credit or non-credit, especially all those old heads that love baseball, is that the rules for a bat are this simple. It's got to be a smooth, round stick. not more than 2.61 inches in diameter, and the thickest part of the bat, not more than 42 inches in length. The bat has to be made out of one solid piece of wood.
Okay, so if you cover that,
That's what they
all
did.
bets are off.
Correct. So that's all they did. So basically, instead of like the fattest part of the bat being at the end of the barrel, it looks like a torpedo in the fact that like the
Gotcha.
it's
Kind
a
of a
little
middle-
thicker and then gets a little thinner at the end.
It's more like a fungo bat.
Yeah, but a fungo bat still has the biggest area at the end.
It does.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't know. Look, you still got to get up there and hit the baseball,
That's the first part.
right?
You have
So this
to
kind of
connect with the
reminds
ball.
me of like all the steroid stuff, right? Like
You still got to
you
hit the
still
ball.
don't want people doing right, but also you got to hit the ball. And for the Yankees, like everybody else can get them. I think there's a guy that plays for the Mets that has them. He's not hitting that good, but it's like, look, it's by the rules. It's not illegal,
Right.
and they also have a ton of dudes that just crush home runs as opposed to
It's
other.
getting the weight off of the end of the bat, so you can bring the bat around quicker.
And he's just
I
making
would
the
guess.
sweet spot. What he just did
More
the
inside.
math, and he was like, I think the sweet spot should be moved down the bat a little bit because statistically, that's where you're going to hit the ball more.
So
But in
throw
the
the
end
ball to
result-
the outside of the plate on these guys.
Yeah, but to me, if the end result is any team can order them, if you believe that is the difference in the game, then order them for your team. I would.
Correct. And I
Right.
think that's what we're going to see happen. Is that over time, you're just going to see it. This might be the new standard in baseball. People have them.
And if you crush more home runs, it only helps baseball. Right? People
Correct.
bitch about the steroid era, but what was the other thing about baseball during the steroid era?
It's fun.
It was a lot of fun, man.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, they even put in here, like, look, they're not the only team that has them. Okay. Let's just say
The
they
Marlins and the Twins, according to a text, are also using them.
Right. They also say the Brewers are in a pitching crisis at the moment. They don't have a lot of good pitching. Again, you're throwing the ball to what? Aaron Judge to
come
begin
on.
with. That guy's probably going to have a few home runs just off the bat because he's Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
And he's that good. So, I mean, you're going to see that kind of stuff. And then again, like, again, for the old people that are like, the rules of baseball and stuff, like,
That's the rule.
they're within the rules of the game. So you got to use them.
I mean, in theory, if you wanted to hold the bat backwards, you could do it. Not a good idea, but if that's what you wanted to do and that improved that guy's swing inexplicably, you can't bitch.
Right, and if you played baseball growing up, you would know this, right? Like, there's certain, like, I was right at that era where, like, the aluminum bats were getting wild.
Yeah.
Because they were, they could be 34-inch length, and they were, like, super light. And then by the time I got to around 13, 14, they started putting in all these rules where it couldn't be more than, like, -3 or -5, right? Like, the weight had to be close to the length of the bat. So even as you get older, like, the bats do change. In Little League, and you can basically walk up there with like a giant red, that weighs 2 ounces. It's swinging. So I don't think it's that uncommon. As you get older, like the bats are going to be tougher. Major League Baseball obviously is wood bats. That's what, when you see like Cape Cod League kind of stuff or these more pro leagues or the fish sticks over in White Center, right? They're college kids, but they're learning to hit with wood bats so they can be ready to go to the professional leagues.
Well, like you said, but first you have to make contact with the pitch.
Correct.
Give me that bat. Watch what happens. Nothing.
Yeah. You still got to hit the ball. I also got in an episode last night about foods that built America. This one was just on coffee.
Coffee, all right.
Right? So it's funny, like you have all the instant coffees that kind of dominate. You have Starbucks and everything. And then I think, Miles, you still use one. They were all the rage. I think a lot of people still use them. But the K-Cups, the Keurig,
Yeah.
right? So that one's interesting. That guy basically came up with the technology, right? But they weren't selling it. It wasn't selling as well as they hoped. And they literally went to the dictionary, I want to say like a Dutch dictionary, and just picked a word. Generally, you
Keurig,
would pick
okay.
something that has something to do with your product or whatever.
Yeah, like
They went completely opposite and just said, call it a Keurig. And then, I mean, look, I love them, right? I should actually buy one of those. But
You
it's
should.
also
It's
just,
easy.
You get one for like $60, believe it or not.
right. It's also
Just a single,
genius because there's like you're gonna keep buying the K cups.
Yeah, of course.
There's any kind of flavor. You can buy Dunkin', you can buy whatever you want, and it's also just easy. You know what I mean? Especially like
Super
when you're a
easy.
guest at somebody's house. Like I know at my brother's house, right? Like sometimes him and his wife, they'll be up and gone, and she'll be like, "Hey, just K cups are up there.
Boom,
make your coffee, go do it," which is great. Let's see. I would recommend find a band you like there, but I am telling you, folks, go see something in that sphere in Las Vegas. That is the second time I have been down there to see it. That was Dead & Company. The visuals were unreal. I mean, it is mind-blowing how cool that place is and everything else. Like, I tell everybody. I told my mom yesterday, I said, hey, Mom, look, if you ever go back to Vegas, I said, they have a nature show that they run every day. I think it's like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, just go in there and see that. I think I told Mike last time we went down, I was like, go to the Sphere just to see it. Like, you don't have to see a concert with all the cool visuals. Like, it's hard to explain, and it just, I mean, it messes with your brain so much, right? Like, you're not sure if you're going to fall over or puke, whatever. I mean,
awesome.
It is. Miles, I'm telling you, it is hands down the coolest thing.
You could fall over. You could puke. That's our sales pitch. You pay for it.
Right. It's so realistic that you think you're tripping.
Right. Saves you the drug money.
Look, I told the one bartender, I looked at her, I said, have you ever done a psychedelic? She goes, no. I said, this is what it feels like. And she's like, are you on one? I said, right now, no. But trust me, this is what it feels like.
Right.
She was like, all right.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Oh, this Bosch miter saw really is smooth.
Feeling smooth.
Who said that?
It's your inner Bosch, baby. I'm that scoobity-bebop smooth feeling you get when you make smooth cuts with that moobity-mibbity-mibbity-mubbity miter saw.
So I'll just keep ski-bop sawing then?
Now you're getting it. Beep-bop, beat-up, wow, miter saw is my favorite.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. You know what's sneaky? A bunch of big corporations buying up local companies you know and love, gutting them, and keeping the name. But you know who's not a sellout? Pinky's Plumbing. That's right. Pinky's Plumbing's values start with their work ethic, honesty, how they treat their employees, and how they care for their customers. Bigger isn't always better, and that's a fact. You should know you're working with a locally owned company that truly values where they live and work. Pinky's Plumbing. Pinky'sPlumbing.com.
The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. So get in a Tundra with the available iForce Max hybrid engine, delivering exceptional torque and towing capacity. Or check out a Tacoma. With available off-road features like crawl control, it can take you beyond the trails. Toyota trucks are built to last. So don't wait. Get yours today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A huge party in Lisbon is canceled after authorities catch a submarine full of cocaine. Meanwhile, riding a scooter at 65 miles an hour on an interstate, truly insane. Man goes into a restaurant naked and wants to pump you up. Chopstick Ninja could easily steal the noodles from your cup. And Long Island, where they happily build a tunnel to keep you from getting towed. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, our top story, we're going to Utah, where officers got a strange call. Multiple witnesses called authorities on reports of an armed man disturbing patrons of a local restaurant. Turns out that our man saw fit to disrobe outside of the restaurant, walk in along with his gun, and proceed to flex, quote, aggressively, and follow people inside of the establishment. Authorities eventually arrived and were able to arrest the man without incident. Not much is known about his motivation for such a display, but he's currently behind bars and faces several charges.
Oh, because he's crazy.
Right. Why the naked? Why?
Because he's crazy.
I guess.
That's the difference.
You think he thought that he had a good enough physique to where his flexing would be impressive?
In that moment, yes.
Okay.
I don't know when he sobers up or whatever his deal was that he thinks so, but...
Right. About to say, what's this dude flying on that he thinks that he is just the sexiest thing walking around, that he needs to flex at people at gunpoint? No clue. In other news, to Amarillo, Texas for another disturbing display. Photos and video were captured of a man driving down I-40 with a clear death wish. The reason we say this is because he was not in a car on the interstate nor a motorcycle, but an electric scooter that he was cruising down the middle lane of the freeway with. Keeping up with traffic at 65 miles an hour, wearing nothing but a T-shirt and shorts.
That's crazy.
While electric scooters are legal on roadways and even highways in the state, it prohibits them from highways exceeding a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. Not many details followed the video as to whether he made it safely to his destination or if he was stopped by authorities or anything like that. We just know that at one point, he was traveling at 65 miles an hour, just going.
Yeah. That's wild.
I don't get it. What's the purpose of it? Why?
Yeah, where's he going?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he obviously just said, screw it, I'm going to take it. I can't imagine going 60 on one of those things.
No, and the fact that he's flying down at 60 in the middle lane, this is far from the first time that this guy has done this. He is very nonchalant about it. He doesn't have anything protective on him whatsoever. This is not oh man, I have to get there now. This is, this is Monday. Let me just jump on the scooter and ride on out there.
That's how I get to work, man.
Right? And you know you're going to get flagged at some point. Somebody is going to, there's going to be some cop out there that's going to track you down.
Not yet, though.
Just freedom to do whatever you want to do, fine. Don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid. Sticking with the internet, a woman has taken to social media to find someone that creeped her out on a flight. The woman traveled from Charlotte to L.A. and says that she made it all the way to her Airbnb before she realized that something creepy had happened on the flight. She claims that she naturally falls asleep early on flights and can remain asleep throughout the duration. Lucky her. Which is why she never realized that the person seated behind her braided her hair during the flight.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, apparently she mentioned that she heard the shutter sound on somebody's phone.
Yeah.
But she also noticed that everybody's windows were shut, so she couldn't quite figure out what they could be taking a picture of, but wrote it off. But after discovering the braid in her hair, she immediately turned to social media asking for the mystery individual to come forward so they can answer for this breach of personal space, as well as put an onus on the airline to respond to the inappropriate conduct. Surprisingly, nobody's come forward, and the airline has not responded.
But also, according to her, she didn't even notice that her hair that had been down was put into a braid until she got to her hotel.
Right.
Like, so you got off the plane, went to baggage claim,
right,
got in a cab or drove, whatever, got to a hotel. Then you noticed your hair.
My guess is this. She's got her hair over the top of the back of the seat.
Fantastic.
She just didn't see it. It was probably in the middle of the back of her head.
Probably someone bitching like, I'll do this.
Exactly. They can't watch their doggone movie on there. Fine, I'm going to braid your hair. And also,
if somebody wants to brush my beard while I'm asleep on a plane, have at it.
Hell yeah.
Depends who it is.
Put some cucumbers over your eyes.
Yeah.
Little ice massage.
Thanks, dude.
But I'm also looking at it like, hey, whoever that was, identify yourself. Like, no,
you know they're not going to.
You're right. You're clearly upset. You want to just yell at me for what it is that I did. No, I'm not coming out there.
And they wanted you to know they'd have told you, hey, I braided your hair.
The airline isn't doing anything. I'm like, what do you want them to do? Track the guy down and throw him in cuffs? Like, no, okay. Yeah, it's creepy. It sucks. Stay awake on a flight.
That'll teach it.
That's on you, dude.
That's right. Come on now, stupid. But just in case those stories with a bad taste in your mouth,
thankfully, there's good news.
We go to Idaho, where another record's been broken. Our hero has already claimed the world record for, quote, most concurrent world records and sought to reclaim a record that he set a while back. The record is centered around chopsticks and the individual skill of being able to accurately throw the sticks like a mini javelin from 13 feet away. His original record was 19 sticks put into the gold circle of a standard target. He poked a lot in that target, but 19 in the middle there within the allotted time. But after it was beaten by just 2 sticks, he called up GWR to take the title back. His performance was filmed, and he can confidently say that he took the record back with an astounding 29 chopsticks stuck in the middle of his
Damn.
29.
That's the guy you end up messing with. Some Chinese restaurant, next thing you know, they're, oh, God.
That's right. Like Bullseye from Daredevil.
Yeah, exactly.
Over to Long Island for a different focus of free will. A local man with a passion for wildlife was left disturbed after he saw the carnage of dead frogs who attempted to cross the road. This time of year, frogs migrate to different ponds for feeding, and while plenty made it across the road to the neighboring pond, there were enough that weren't so lucky that it inspired our man to act. He works at Brooklyn Land Management and put in an appeal that was approved, and now $20,000 of allocated funds are now being dedicated to building the first ever amphibian crossing in the area that goes underneath the road, thereby protecting quite a few more of the animals.
What does he think the appeal will be for them? Will they just naturally choose to tunnel?
So currently they have to come out of the pond and jump out across the street to then go into the neighboring pond over there. This one's just going to basically build a little bridge underneath it to where they don't have to bother going up and over it. So there you go. Have fun with that. Men's Room Sports brought to you by the fine folks at Sports on What. The Mariners started the season off with a 4-game series here at home and walked away with a split series and a 2-2 record against the Athletics. They're right back at it again as the Detroit Lions come into Seattle tonight for the first... Doggone it, Tigers.
I mean, they would crush the Lions.
They would. Son of a bitch. Anyway, so that starts tonight. The Kraken had a rough showing over the weekend with a harsh 5-1 loss against the Dallas Stars here at home. They look to recover quick and get back to it tonight as they host the Dallas Stars yet again tonight, and it's also Mascot Mania down there at CPA.
Oh, nice.
If you're going to that game. As far as what you're going to watch tonight, you got NBA basketball, college tournament, hoops, Mariners baseball, and Kraken hockey. Find out where and when to watch all of those games in one convenient location. It is called the Sports on What app. As far as your weather tonight, we're looking at cloudy skies with a low of 43. Tomorrow morning, we got a little bit of rain, followed by a cloudy afternoon skies with a high of 54. That is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
We'll see you next time with the Daily Mix Morning Show. We're going to sit and spin on April Fool's Day. Yeah. The lovely Jolene is up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
You don't just live in your home. You live in your neighborhood as well. So when you're shopping for a home, you want to know as much about the area around it as possible. Luckily, Homes.com has got you covered. Each listing features a comprehensive neighborhood guide from local experts. Everything you'd ever want to know about a neighborhood, including the number of homes for sale, transportation, local amenities, cultural attractions, unique qualities, and even things like median lot size and a noise score. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Nerds!
Today's episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. Smart Travel doesn't just cover points and miles. They break down all the financial aspects of your trip, whether that's the best days to book, how to avoid hidden fees, or which fancy travel credit cards pay off, and which ones are just an expensive flex. If you want your travel budget to work harder, then dive into the best deals, products, services, and more with Smart Travel from NerdWallet, wherever you get your podcasts.
Spring's here. Flowers are blooming, birds are singing, and allergies? Yeah, they're back too. Sneezing, watery eyes. When they hit, you need a tissue fast. That's where Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues come in. Whether you're at home or on the go, Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues have you covered. Allergist-approved Kleenex Ultra Soft Tissues are gentle on your eyes and nose, so you can power through allergy season without missing a beat. Because while allergies are unpredictable, staying prepared is easy. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex.
The brand new Grand Casino and Shoreline is now open. Step into the action with Vegas-style table games like Baccarat, Heads Up Hold'em Poker, Pai Gow, Blackjack, and High Card Flush. Feeling hungry? Feast on delicious Chinese, Vietnamese, and continental dishes, plus breakfast favorites. Dine in or take out. And don't miss daily happy hours from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. to midnight. Grand Casino and Shoreline off Aurora. Open daily from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Visit GrandCasinoGaming.com. Welcome to the Grand Experience.
I love the Marquette community. I think, it to me resembles a family of some sort.
You are coming to a place that is not only going to give you a great education, but I think it's going to make you a very well-rounded individual.
Especially because of the size, you can definitely find your people. I came in and it was open arms. While you're here, we're going to try to make you feel that same love and make this place home. We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.
We are Marquette.